welcome me. What's up, my friends? Good to see you all here tonight for Clobberin Times, issue number, whatever issue number it is. Of course, its most important thing is that it is Monday night Mark C. Comics talk, folks. And we are here to chew bubblegum and talk comics, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Because I never had any bubblegum, at least not lately. So it's a silly analogy, but it is a quote. What can you do? Wow. What is up, folks? I have no real, I guess you say no real topic for the evening. Just I don't know, just a little fun. Kind of just hang out, talk about comics here and there, a little about what's going on, maybe out there in the world of comics. Just hang out with you all. But first I want to thank everybody who hung out with us. Can't get the days messed up now. Saturday night for Saturday Night Star Trek. It was just what a show. What a fantastic time that was. Seriously, again, it just gets better and better each week. I cannot thank you enough, all of you, for the time that Raquel and I are having on those Saturday nights. I mean, all of my shows, you're all fantastic. Every show, you're just great, and it's just great hanging out with you. And those Saturday nighters, I mean, they are just so much fun for us. Seriously, I just can't get enough of it. I really, really look forward to Saturday nights. And yeah, I'm sorry. So before I do any kind of show notes or anything like that, let me just say some hellos really quickly. Zach's popped in earlier. Zach, what's up, dude? You Hulk villain. Tim Hayes, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. The great Steve Mitchum, brother. Thanks for being here, buddy. Stuart Mitchell, what's up, friend? Dolly had braces, buddy. D-Bud Martin. What is up, bro? Always great to see you, the Man of Iron. J-Man. I know it's a bit late for you there, dude, but if you are still here, good to see you, brother. Always a pleasure, man. We must do something again soon, bro. Yeah, and I'm about to talk about something Superman related. I know you're a Superman fan. Six. Oh, it's lovely to see you, Six. I love how you I remember I've seen you in some chats recently, Six, and I've tried to how you highlight somebody, so you highlight their name so you can say something to them. Well, you're invincible. You're like invisible. You can't do that because you have the pumpkins around your name. I thought that's what I noticed that because I tried to spotlight you and single you out and say, hey, Six, and it doesn't let you do that in chats with those, which I think is pretty funny actually. It's like a cloaking device in a sense. Hungry Boy Buddy, what's up there, my friend? Great to see you, buddy. I've had my chat pulled back a little bit, so I don't see anything new coming through yet. I gotta scroll to it. Kalel 48, bro. Always a pleasure, my friend. Really great to see you. The Catman, aka D minus. Catman, I hope the missus is doing better. Please let us know how things are going on that front. I hope she is feeling better and doing well or on the mend. Please let us know. It's Courtney, Fellowship of Oddballs. Hello, Courtney. Thank you for being here, dear. It is great to see you. Let's see here. Who else we got? Eric and the great Eric K. Buddy, I hope you're feeling better. Bronze Surfer. My friend, it just always a pleasure. It is always just great to see you. I hope you're hanging in there. And again, hope you were on the mend also, buddy. So I'm trying to get up to date on me. Okay, I think I finally got a little bit on the up to date on the chat there. Okay. Well, what is up? I just decided not to even do Hey, Oliver Bellamonte, good to see you. I'll talk a little bit about what I know on that, Oliver, in a little bit. Downside. Hello there, Downside. Or Denside. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm never sure without the vowels there, or at least but I say Downside. I think we've discussed that. I think you said that was the way to do it. So good to see you there, my friend. I hope that was correct. Let's see how. Yes, I just decided to kind of fly. You go back to boring six. Well, you're never boring six. Come on now. Mark D with a C, brother. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Dolly had braces. That's all I'm going to say about that. No, it's not all I'm going to say about that, actually. But yeah, good to see you, bro. And let's see here. Again, it was just a marvelous time the other night with my fantastic first officer, the amazing Raquel Briggs, and always big shout out to the great Loki for my opening intro there. By the way, sorry if I forget sometimes there, Loki. I just forgetting stuff. But it is a pleasure to see you all here tonight. Just again, sometimes you just don't need a topic. You just hang out with your pals, and this time in the chat, so we could all, because sometimes on a Wednesday night I just do kind of an open talk. We throw anything out there and see what sticks. Tonight, it's the similar thing, except it'll be comics and comics related, since this is Monday Night Mark C. Comics Talk, named, for those who do not know, after our dearly departed, great, wonderful friend that we miss very much, Mark C. He loved comics, and we did some comic shows together, a good number of those, and we would have hopefully been doing them for a long time to come. He was sadly taken from us, but we miss Mark, and so we honor him every Monday night, talking about a subject that he loved dearly. He loved comics. So yeah, we miss the great Mark C. So I got to tell you the fandom thing, and I just realized something. I didn't watch the fandom. I knew it was going on. Last year when they had it, they did two, of course. And I only really participated in watching that because I was invited. That was when I was first getting to know Loki and Purple and all those other wonderful friends from Valhalla that I've made dear friends with now. And we did the 8-hour stream. No, the 9-hour stream for the first one. There was a 12-hour, the next one for the two DC fandoms. And so that was how I was up to speed on that one. I stopped buying all comics, especially DC, around 2011. I can't stand them. And I know they do a little bit more than comics. Hey, Mr. Gas Mask Animations. Good to see you there, little buddy. I hope you're doing well. So I got to tell you, I didn't pay any attention to the DC fandom. I only watched one of the trailers. I know there's a Black Adam trailer. I think I saw little bits and pieces of that one and another one. And I just don't care. These are movies I'm not going to go see. Here's what I'm not going to go see. I'm not going to go see Black Adam. They have already sealed that deal on me. I could not care less. They can screw off. What was the other one? I know this. The only trailer I watched was the trailer for The Batman. And I didn't pay attention to anything else. You guys have to tell me what you think, because I didn't care enough to watch these trailers. And it really wasn't even a concentrated effort not to watch them. It was so DC is so unimportant to me now that I didn't even think about it. Every time I heard someone mention it, I would go, "Oh, I guess I should watch that trailer to see what I think about it." Oh, Flash! I know about the Flash trailer as well. And I kept going, "Oh, maybe I should watch that trailer to see what's going on." And I just didn't get around to it. I gotta be honest. I should have watched them before we came on tonight. They do not. And I have a crappy short-term memory anyway. Don't get me wrong, because I'm getting old and senile. But it's also just a point of I would have made sure I watched those things before. If I'd been with the group and we'd done the fandom this year, we didn't do it. But I just don't care. And that doesn't mean I wouldn't even want. I can watch a trailer. It's just I never thought about it after a while. I only watched the Batman one because it was all over Twitter. Catman says, in regards to his lovely wife, she's hanging in there today. Was her first day standing and setting. Okay. Slow, steady process with her therapy. They will work with her slow and steady. Therapy refuses to work fast with her. Well, I'm glad there's some progress there to be made. And everyone is definitely pulling for you, Catman D.D. Myers, for your wonderful wife to get better, sir. and you're taking, and she's a true fighter, as you said, she's truly a fighter, and you're taking it day by day. That is fantastic. Black Adam never had a chance with me anyway. They've already made it done. They've already, I can't stand The Rock anymore. Even from get go when it was announced that there was going to be a Black Adam film years ago, I was like, this is ridiculous. Black Adam doesn't need a movie. The character of Black Adam is a Captain Marvel villain. When I say Captain Marvel, I mean real deal faucet stolen by DC. Captain Marvel who says Shazam. Look, I like Marvel, but the number one real deal Captain Marvel, Billy Batson saying Shazam, turning into the big red cheese Captain freaking Marvel. And Tep Adam was a Captain Marvel villain. And somehow, for some friggin' reason, in the 2000s, I don't know if it was Johns or whomever, they started using him and trying to make him something of an anti-hero. And I read some of those comics that Black Adam was in. Yes, Black Adam. I love Black Adam. And I read some of those, and I'm like, okay. I didn't understand why anyone cares about putting him in a movie. I still don't care. He's, if you put him in a film fighting the real Captain Marvel, not that Captain Sparkle Fingers idiot from that stupid Shazam movie, okay, Rock should play him, I guess. Getting his own movie, and we all know that I'm not going to go into it for certain reasons. The changes they've made. Now, again, I almost kind of want to see Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. That's kind of cool, but I don't even think did they even show that in the trailer? I bet not much if they did. What they've done to Hawkman is a deal killer for me. I'm just sick of this crap. And as for the Flash movie, I know so many people are excited about Michael Keaton coming back as playing that Batman. I'm not. I have nothing against it, but when you need to do that kind of crap because you have a garbage star, quote unquote star or lead in Ezra Miller, I'm one. For those who don't know me, and again, people, I'm of the philosophy: if you like what you like, even if we don't agree, we can still be friends and all that stuff. That shouldn't even have to be said, but it's a shame it has to be said. But personally, I'm a big hater of the Snyderverse. I hate it. If you like it, fine. I hate it. And I cannot stand Ezra Miller. So any movie with him as a lead, I'm not bothered. Will I sit around and watch it for free one day if it's on TV? I guess. But I won't be going to the theater. I won't pay a dime to see any of that crap. And I have no interest in watching that, even with Michael Keaton. Look, again, maybe the slightest bit of interest if it's on, like I say, if it's on one of those services that I have, I sit through it, I guess. But I'm just not interested in that. Again, hey, if you are and you're excited about these, more power to you. I hope you get to enjoy those things. Hey, Buck Waddle, good to see you, sir. But I just don't care. And again, I'm not trying to sound cavalier. It's just, believe me, if I did, I would be all over this stuff usually. But they don't make this. You know how they say it's not made for you. Well, that's true in my case. They don't make the stuff for me. Now, I did watch the sparkly Batboy trailer because it was all over Twat, and I saw some people that I like getting really excited about it. I hear you, Kal-El. Well, I just think, look, Catman says, not excited to see Keaton come back as Batman. There's not much I am looking forward to other than, see, I don't want to get myself wound up, but I think the Babylon 5 remake is a horrible idea. And I just think it's pathetic that they're doing that. But I hear you, Catman. If you're looking forward to it, like I say, more power to you if you're looking forward to something. Just because I'm not, look, it's not all about me. If any of you guys are looking forward to something, just because I'm not, doesn't mean you shouldn't. But Sparkle Batboy, okay, that trailer looks about as lame as that last one. And again, I didn't expect any different. Everything about it looks dark, grungy, cheap. He looks. I like what was it? What did you say there? One of you said he looks. Was it D-Bud? Was it you or whatever said he looks like Bruce Wayne if he were a heroin addict? He looks horrible as Bruce Wayne. The costume sucks. He's now wearing Iron Man armor that is bullet absorbent. He's now just bullets bounce off him as they do Iron Man. Catwoman again with the boy haircut. She looks sleazy. And Tamlin, not made for you it is, but there's sometimes I've actually adopted that term myself and go, look, I've said this for many, many years now, folks. Hey, Jax Mama, good to see you. I've actually used the term, I have aged beyond the target demographic when it comes to comics for a long time ago. And they don't care. In other words, they don't give a crap about, aiming comics at me. And it's pretty much the same way with films and TV now. They don't care about my demo. So I don't care about them. Catman says, I love the original Babylon 5. So do I. But a little scared to see a remake. I have a bad feeling it's truly going to stay. It's going to be on CW. So that was pretty much DOA to me. I mean, like I said, we are accepting of all opinions here. Yes, I'm an opinionated person. But if you like it, it's your thing. Hey, Sherry. Welcome, Sherry. It's lovely to see you, my dear. Great to see you. So, Sparkle Bat Boy trailer to me looked just as awful as the last time. I cannot understand how anyone is good. And again, hey, Pop Culture Republic. Again, I preference. Punk Waddle, what's up, bud? I preface by saying if you are, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I don't understand how you saw anything in that trailer. I don't get it. You can certainly disagree. No, Mark D with a C, more accurately, you have STD. I don't. You have it, dude. Because you're going to watch it. I'm not. But I will say this about STD. You're right about the entertainment factor in one sense, Mark, because I get to watch Az and Doomcock destroy STD and Gary. So that's fun. And that makes it almost worth having a show, but not worth having Star Trek destroyed over there. Al says they should have left it at remastering the original B5. Agreed. This remake is a horrible idea, especially on CW. If you told me just to remake anywhere else, I still would have been against it. But on CW, Jesus. Although I'm a huge fan of the Commodore Amiga, I'm also aware of how dated yes, they are dated, but I like the remastered. The great Eric K, $4.99 super chat. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Batman should not look like he lives under a bridge in SF doing meth. No, he shouldn't. And that's what Sparkle Boy looks like. Yeah, I can't get into Sparkle Boy. The thing is, and a lot of people have said it, and I kind of agree. And they say he's a good actor. He might be a good actor. It's not his performance that I would have an issue with. Probably it's just I think he looks terrible. He looks more like a Bruce. He looks more like a Dick Grayson type. I see that guy. I go, yeah, I can see him as Dick Grayson, but not as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, well, see, again, the remake's just wrong in every way there could be wrong for me, pop culture, but I'll agree with you that if you could not pick a more horrible place to put anything, especially a remake of something, even if I were down with a remake for a B5, which I'm not, if I said, okay, I'll give it the shot because of JMS, who, by the way, hasn't earned a lot of shots because even as great as that show was, he's written some horrible comics. He's written a few okay ones, but he's written some horrible comic books. But even if I were willing to give the B5 remake a chance, no, because even if I were going, all right, I'll go with you guys, and then they put it on CW, like, oh, okay, now I'm not going with you. Now I'm out of here. CW, no. I mean, probably nowhere, but I can't imagine that's worse than the BBC, and that's saying something. Well, it's pretty close to it anyway. I don't know. That's maybe I don't know. It might be fairly equal ground there. CW, ugh. Yeah, they ruin everything they touch, same as the BBC does. Yeah, that's like having it done by a bad reboot. That's pretty much the same thing. Well, so Sparkly Batboy does nothing for me. And I will not be paying a dime to see it at the theater. As I always say, I'll pretty much sit through any old crap once. So if it's, if I can see it free, like if it's on, on one of their streaming services that I happen to have, at some point I'll sit through it. And if there's anything good to say about it, I'll say it. I'll admit it. I just have no interest in going out of my way to watch it. I'm not going to review it. I'll tell you what I might break my rule on, though. Not break my rule, but a 6. Oh, I'm about to talk a little Superman in a minute. 6, but 6. It's funny you mentioned that, Clobby. Do you like Superman and Lois? I love that show. It's on CW. I actually do sort of like that show. 6, I will admit. I actually will admit that. I'm not like turning back flips over it or anything, but I liked when I saw that first episode, even though it was only for a split second. 6, that him, Superman in that Golden Age costume, was wonderful. And the show, I think after like the first 4 or 5 episodes, I was sort of, at least it's not like, I was like a lot of people, at least it wasn't like super woke or anything on the Cringe Woke Network, but it wasn't really thrilling me either. I don't like the costume, but I like Tyler Hoechlin. I wasn't big on the kids or even the lady playing Lois, nothing personal, or the kind of story direction, but I was okay. I hate the evil Superman trope that they were using from the other dimension and stuff, but I kind of like the guy playing John Henry Irons. So I stuck with it, and I think it got a little bit better. It became, for me, if you're on the CW and you're just even tolerable or watchable, then you're doing pretty well. And so on balance, I found Superman and Lois to be fairly entertaining. And so far, I think I'm a few episodes behind, but I do like it. What is your... Yeah, cartwheel. If you don't want to see me doing a cartwheel. Superman and Lois along with Stargirl are the only decent shows on CW, says Pop Culture. A lot of my friends like Stargirl. I've not watched it yet, but you never know. I may watch it one day. Keep it in the reserve for something to watch. Tim Hayes, how do you feel about the comics Superman and Lois have the bisexual son thing? Well, I'll mention it in a second here. But on balance, I think here's the thing about Superman and Lois. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think it's pretty good, but it doesn't. I think I'm a few episodes behind because I'll watch one, and then I'll forget about it. Oh, okay, this was all right, and I'll think I guess the season's over because I watch it on the CW app or whatever, and I forget about it, and a bunch of episodes pile up, and someone will mention it, and I go, oh, that's still on. I don't mean that I think it was canceled. I just thought it was in some sort of hiatus, but they said no, they're still making new ones. So I'm a few episodes behind on it. But I like it okay, and I'll probably go catch up on those. For the past month or so, I have not seen one. For the past 2 months, I haven't seen one. But I like it okay, and I think I wasn't too big on. I don't really like the stuff with what they did with Lara and her ex-husband crap, and I don't really like the what they did with Morgan Edge and Kal-El's brother, that kind of stuff. I understand you can't stay stagnant. You could, and I'm never against adding to lore. Changing lore I can't stand usually. Adding to lore, it's okay. So, like I said, I think it's a good show, and I like Tyler. So yeah, so far so good. Remember from the great film Magnificent Seven, when the great Steve McQueen tells the joke, he says, it's like that fella back home who fell from the 10-story building. What they heard him saying as he fell. So far, so good. So, yes, I probably butchered that. But we will see. Yeah, I'll keep giving it a shot. Yeah, that was Tyler in Road to Position. That's right. Perdition. That's right. Before we, continue with that, as I mentioned last night on the great Mark D with the C stream, and he is here, and he has a great channel. Please, if you haven't subscribed to that, please do. Yesterday was the birthday of the great Jerry Siegel, the creator. Well, the creator. He was co-created with Joe Shuster, of course, of Superman. Chris Persia, what's up, bud? The great Chris Persia, master of all that is French Canadian, is here. You can put that link in there anytime, Mark, if you want to. Jerry Siegel gave us so much. He is, of course, in the Clobberin Times Comic Book Creator Hall of Fame. He was the first balloter. By the way, in a couple of Mondays, number 3, the third round of that's coming out is going to be. For those who don't know, I have, since I started here on, well, I've had it for a while, but I mean, since I started here on YouTube a little over a year and a half ago, I started a thing called the Clobberin Times Comics Creator Hall of Fame. In each edition, every few months, 10 more comic book legends, greats, creators, writers, artists, what have you, or both, even in comic books and strips, are inducted. And I've had 2 of those so far. And in the first show, the first ballot show, of course, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster both made it in the first one. So number 3 is coming soon. And but this man was a first balloter. This man gave us so much. And he will always have love from Clobberin Time. So again, a day late. He would have been 107 years old. So day late, birthday wishes. Out there, wherever you are, he's still out there thriving in Imagination Land. He and his partner, Joe Shuster, created an icon that will never be forgotten. Yes, they'll screw around with him and they'll do disgraceful things like DC is doing now to him. I mean, the stupid gimmick, because someone asked her, I think Tim Hayes asked earlier, the idiocy of what they're doing right now and the short-term little pandering thing that they've done right now. They did it for ratings. They did it to get attention. It's already just being swept away. It's just it's nothing in terms of what they're doing with Jonathan Kent. And I don't want to get into that politically. You all know what I think of it. I think it's stupid and asinine. It doesn't belong. I wasn't even reading. I didn't like Rebirth. I didn't really read Tomasi's Super Sons, but a lot of my friends who I respect really liked that title. And they gave that away to give it to Bendis, who took the character of Jonathan Kent. He can't write. Bendis is a garbage writer. He's a hack. And he aged the character up. Now, DC took that character, and they let Bendis do what he want with him, but they aged him up just really so they could, make him closer to an adult or a young adult, and use him as an activist tool for their stupid, garbagey comics that nobody's buying. But the most disgusting thing they did to me, and I'm not going to get into it here either because it'll just get the blood pressure going, is changing not that they ever used it anyway, by the way, they haven't used it in years anyway, but the Superman's motto of truth, justice, and the American way to the Kami Pinko, truth, justice, and the better tomorrow. So DC Comics, you've been dead to me for a long time, so you just you're like Captain Jack, you keep killing yourself over and over again. You keep dying and come back to life, but you're not really, except you don't really resurrect, do you? You're just a dead husk. So, yeah. So, woke comics. Well, look, Tim, here's the thing about that. The comics art form was in trouble even before they went 90 to 99% woke. When they were just more like a kind of half and half, because they've always been, wokish to an extent in this century. When they still tried to sell a few comics here and there and tried to bring a few people in to buy their stuff, they were still flailing, and they were also up against things that the comics in the old days, the golden, the silver, even the bronze age, didn't have to compete with. Home video games and all, the movie media market that they have to compete with now, and streaming and computers and the internet and all that stuff. Comics had enough to compete with when they were still concerned with actually getting sales. Now they're just concerned with preaching. And so manga has been thriving and will continue to do so, because they don't have any of the woke handcuffs on. And they're competing with a lot of things that manga's competing with, the same things that American comics are competing with, and yet people still love them. They're just destroying American comics. So it's not like nobody wants to read comics. It's just that these people aren't interested in producing anything. Now, you've got, unfortunately, got a lot of people doing the crowdfunded thing, Comicsgate and all those great people, who actually want to create their own comics because they care about the medium, they care about the art form, and they know that a lot of people still do. Let's see, Kal-El. The fact that Superman is protesting climate change when he literally has the power to change the climate makes him the ultimate virtue signal. It's pathetic. It's just pathetic. Oh, my God. Yeah. Climate change. Go change the climate then, Super Twerp. You can do it. Well, that's not Superman. And, I can't say I was buying any DC anyway. Like I said, here's the thing. I got to tell you. Yes, I hate the woke crap. But before that, comics, I actually left comics for reasons that have nothing to do with the woke crap. I know a lot of people do leave it because of that, and that's one thing. That's fine. I understand. They were really pretty bad to me anyway. But you know what? I'm glad I at least left for artistic reasons, because they were writing and drawing things I don't care about. They were revising, and I mean, in a sense, it wasn't woke, but it was still cultural vandalism, and it was still cultural rot and decay that was ruining comics, because they were all still being cynical. They were all still being turned into unfun crap. When they weren't turning something into woke, preachy crap, they were turning it into unfun crap. So I really left almost teetotaled on comics. The Screw 52 chased me away from DC completely. I hated a lot of the stuff Marvel was doing in the aughts. And so I got to admit, I kind of went cold turkey on comics it had nothing to do with politics. It was really to do with the fact that they were not interested in making comic books that I cared about, and they were screwing over all the characters I love. Hungry Boy says, another huge problem is that most younger comics artists conflate cartooning with comic art. And he is an artist. He knows. Hungry Boy's an excellent artist. And the youngins won't do their life drawing homework. Yeah, I don't know if anyone goes to the Kubert school anymore. And here's another thing. This is me. I admit it. This is me, the quintessential old man, Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino, sitting on the porch going, get off my lawn. But, and I mean this sincerely, if you like any of this modern art or anything like that, that's fine. When I look at 97% of the things I see on whether they're on the shelves, the racks, or anything coming out with new comics, or like when I was at Loki and the gang, when we were doing our comic round table and we were looking at the new arrivals and goofing on all these new comics coming out, when I go to the Friends comic shop, when I look at the stuff on the rack right now, not literally, of course, because we use grammar correctly here, but figuratively speaking, it makes my eyes bleed. Now, that is a prejudice. That is a prejudice that I fully admit. It's a bias towards older comic book art and cartooning. And I really didn't like a lot of the art in the 90s, although there were still some of the greats were still around doing some great stuff. In the 2000s, there were still a few people doing some things I liked. But for the most part, I really despise the modern aesthetic, and I don't like all this crap drawn on the computers and all the soulless, empty. I wanted to buy that Superman 78 just because it was based on the Donner film. Actually, Minimus gave me a copy, but I didn't buy it. And I looked at the horrible quote unquote art from that. It looked like it was done on a. It looks like a coloring book, and it was done on a computer. And I think about how cool it would have been, like if someone like Gary Frank or someone had drawn that comic. So this lifeless, soulless, so-called comic book art that the big two are putting out, even if they weren't being woke and annoying in that respect, I still just can't look at them. And that's just me. So I have a lot of other, because I've been loving comics for well over 50 years, I have a lot of other reasons to not want to look at comics, buy comics. Now, yes, I despise the wokeness and all that stuff. And even if you do, even if you do art that I don't like, I admire you if you're somebody like doing it for Comicsgate or whatever, because you're doing it because you love the art form and you love what you're doing. I can look at some of that stuff, even if it's not my cup of tea, and go, yeah, that's someone who wants to make comic books because they care about the art form. The big two they don't care. And none of the other, some of the Image people, they are creator owned. So maybe some of those people care, but the people running Image, they're a bunch of idiots too. IDW, they're just product mongers. I mean, they just churn out hamburgers. Dynamite, kind of same deal with their zillions of covers and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of them are just churning it out. Now, by the way, that's nothing new to the comic book industry. Ever since there's been one, there have been the ones who just kind of churn the stuff out on an assembly line basis with no heart and no soul and stuff. But then when you look at that stuff now, you go, wow, it looks better than this modern crap. Well, a lot of it, but there was a lot of terrible comics. Even in the old days, you got to be fair. But I got out. I left, really, they were, as much as I'm down with everyone who rightly criticizes this woke garbage that is going on with comics. My reasons for kind of just getting away from it is because they are artistic in the sense that I don't like what they're doing. It doesn't appeal to me. And if you got something out there you're reading now that you love, even if I don't like it, I'm glad for you. You got something that you can enjoy. I know there are still comics being produced, even that aren't Comicsgate, that people like, and that's fine. And I'm happy for you. I won't stick with the older stuff because even there's still plenty of stuff that either I haven't read in so long it'll be like it's brand new and fresh, or something that I let pass me by that everyone else said, should have read this, should have read that. Because there are a few things that I didn't read. I sold them. But there are a couple of things that got by me that I never read that people always said you should read. And I go, yeah, well, now if I want to read a good comic, there are plenty of things I either have read before, but it's been a long time ago. There's plenty out there. There's 60 to 70 years worth, because I'm not counting the last 10 years that much, 60 to 70 years worth of good stuff. Kal-El says, I thought Rebirth was good. I hate the whole idea of Rebirth. If we're talking about the same, the Dr. Manhattan thing, I mean, I want to beat Jeff Johnson. I'm sorry. No violence here, even though it's a joke. I'm really aggravated with Jeff Johnson. I hate that idea. I hate it, but a lot of people do agree with you about Rebirth, Kal-El. That's just me being me. A lot of people agree with you. And Kal-El says, I thought Rebirth was good. In fact, that's what got me back into collecting comics. But once DC dropped that moniker, things took a turn for the worse. I finally stopped collecting last year. Well, I can't blame you, man. But don't listen to me just because I didn't like it. I mean, I know a lot of people that I respect, including you, did like Rebirth. Sorry. D-Bud says, now you know I have love for the old Harvey comics, Clobberin Times. Those are written and drawn to be enjoyed. Yes, they should all be written and drawn to be enjoyed. I mean, that's what a comic should be. It doesn't mean they can't, have depth or weight, or even, there's some really dark, pretty disturbing comics that I've loved over the years, but just because they were, I enjoyed them because they were innovative and thought-provoking or imaginative and creative, even if they were pretty scary or pretty dark. So But I do love the fun stuff as well. Pop Culture says, one of the last comics I enjoyed was Poison Elves by the late Drew Hayes. I'm familiar with it, but I have not read it. Stuart Mitchell says, there have always been moral and political messages in pop culture to a certain extent, but good writing can do it in a subtle way rather than with a sledgehammer. Well, you know that and that's so true, Stuart. That speaks to what we were talking about on Saturday Night Star Trek the other night when Raquel and I were talking about back-to-back episodes of Next Generation. We review 4 every week. And we reviewed one that we both really love, an episode called The Hunted, in which does have a message. And the message is about how the episode talks about how we treat, how a society may treat their soldiers and the people who basically save them and serve them and keep them protected and keep them safe from enemies. And that episode is powerful and it's brilliant. That's the right way to do it. Then the episode following, The High Ground, is a piece of garbage because it is super, super overtly, transparently political and bigoted towards a certain, bigoted in its message towards a certain people without getting too far into it, because you don't remember that. And so back to back, then one week they get it so right, the next week they get it so wrong. Comics are like that. Well, all of entertainment's like that. Sometimes they hit it right on the head. Sometimes it's like they're playing whack-a-mole. Sometimes they hit the mold. Sometimes they hit a puppy. Let's see here. Yep. Oliver says, DC fandom was heavy promoting new film, TV, cartoons, toys, and merchandise. No mention of comics continuity. That happened last year, too. It's a salad bar with no flavorful condiments. Well said, Oliver. And I noted that last year when we covered the fandom, that at one point we'd gone like 4, 5, 6 hours where no comic book was mentioned. And later, the only comic line they talked about was the Milestone, the revamping of the Milestone line. And I don't know how that went. I don't know if that's still happening or what. But I don't know. But yes, Steve mentioned this exactly right. Comics are joyless. Much of modern pop culture entertainment is joyless. And that doesn't mean everything has to be all sweetness and light. One of my all-time favorite comics, as we've talked about a lot, as I've talked about with our great great pal Mark C., is Watchmen. He was not a big fan of Watchmen. I love a lot of Alan Moore's work. The thing is, it, along with Miller's Dark Knight, did do a lot of damage. Because it's just true in life that something really good can spawn a bunch of bad things, and sometimes bad does come from good. As tough as that is to deal with sometimes. Hello there, Jedi Bill. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I've never seen you here before. It's a pleasure. But it's just true in life, isn't it? I mean, sometimes something really bad, something good springs from it. And something really good, bad things can come from it. That's what the modern day SJW types, they want to destroy every bit of nuance in life. And that's what they're doing. Their type, their ilk, that's what they're doing. They're destroying nuance in life. And without that, you can't survive as reasonable beings in a civilized society without the understanding of nuance. And it applies to everything. Not just everyday life, but of course pop culture and entertainment. And so I could love a comic book like Watchmen, which I do. As I love only the Moore and Gibbons one. Hate all the other ones. But I can understand that it did a lot of damage. And probably more damage than it was worth. Not just it, a lot of things. The whole dark wave of comics started by Miller and Moore. that means it all really traces back to Miller's Daredevil. I love it. It was a great run. It was fantastic. This last Monday, I did a Daredevil show about pre-Miller Daredevil. I didn't trash the Daredevil run. I love that. I mean, the Miller run. I love it. But you know what? Look what it wrought. Look what it gave us. Still, I still love the comic. It led to darker things, and eventually it made a superstar out of Frank Miller, and we ended up with his Dark Knight, and things. And also at the same time, more Swamp Thing and his other stuff led to him getting Watchmen, and it changed the face of comics. And Moore has admitted even early on that it did not change comics for the better, even though many really good comics came out after it. There were people trying to do similar stuff, and many bad ones did too. But it's almost not a judgment of the quality of the work. It's what it does to the medium, and that what in turn that does to the culture. And Watchmen and Dark Knight had severe, damaging impact on the culture of comic books. And at the time, the comic book medium and the comic book business and the industry was huge in the pop culture. It wasn't obviously not movies level huge, but there was no video game culture to compete with at that time. And so it did have a lot of cultural impact, and it impacted movies even because, it was sort of Miller's popularity with his Batman and his not only his, primarily his Dark Knight Returns miniseries of the mid 80s, but also his Batman Year One, which, kind of sparked more interest in getting the Tim Burton Batman film rolling. Watchmen, and Swamp Thing by Moore and Batman the Killing Joke brought forth even more darkness, more attempts to bring comic books to quote unquote mature readers, as they called it. And a lot of good comics got made. Neil Gaiman's Sandman got made, Preacher. A lot of these other good comics wouldn't have happened without what Miller and Moore did. And they're acclaimed, and a lot of people love these comics, and they are wonderful works of art and the art form. However, that doesn't mean it wasn't poison in some ways societally. It actually was. Because, and Moore even lamented it. That's why when he left DC, he did that wonderful, almost apology, if you could call it, for 1963. Too bad he never finished it, but it was still great that he did that for Image. So, yeah, these guys, but Miller never really acknowledged that he was fine doing it. He didn't think so. But it did put a lot of poison in. It led us to that dark age of comics in the art form. And again, that just shows you how multiple things can be true at the same time. It's how complicated it is. It can be a really good comic, but it's like, again, it's pretty much like eating too much pizza or too much chocolate or whatever. There's no doubt you really enjoyed it, but was it good for you? Yeah, that's some of those comics like that. Hungry Boy, yeah, even before Watchmen, Moore had gone completely off the reservation with Swamp Thing. He had it, and I loved Swamp Thing. I loved the Swamp Thing run. I love a lot. I love a lot. I mean, just almost a year ago now, a buddy of mine and I did, because I used to want to write a book about Alan Moore's early, his 80s and some of his 90s work. And we did a show last year covering all of his other work, his non-Watchmen stuff, because, everyone covers that. But that's, hey, Phantom Outsider. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that, man. It's just the complexity of life. Something really good coming from something really bad, and comics are not exempt from that. But, man, that does not mean you should not take an individual comic like Watchmen, or if you like Miller's. I have a lot of qualms with this Miller's Dark Knight Returns, although I like it, except for issue 4. But whatever it is, you could still enjoy those on an individual basis. I mean, again, it's just complicated. Mark Waid is a certified loon jackass, but he wrote a comic called Kingdom Come, as you all know, which was really a powerful rebuke of some of that overly dark crap, and a rebuke of heroes not acting like heroes. And I love Kingdom Come. Some people say it's tougher for them to read now because of the kind of guy Wade is, but if you can compartmentalize that, the message is sound and potent and important. So I still, and so it's life is full of contradictions. I still love Watchmen, and I still love. Well, I really love more Superman stories. So again, and this is a guy that can do, on the one hand, could do what he did on the Swamp Thing, could do what he did with Miracle Man, and Marvel Man / Miracle Man, could do Watchmen, and on the other hand, write two of the most, two of the most wonderful Superman stories ever. And not only that, he could write Supreme, which was just his Superman. He's Supreme, Alan Moore Supreme, which I'm gonna do a show about soon. Can just give me my Superman back for a while, just in a different costume, going under an assumed name. And he could write something as fun as his Supreme and yet still do sickness like what he did with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, again, I like you mentioned League of Extraordinary Gentlemen pop culture. It's funny. Before I saw you mentioning that, I mentioned it because it popped to mind. Pop culture writes, I enjoyed League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Of course, the movie does not exist. I'm a weirdo. I thought the movie was kind of goofy fun. It's stupid. It's a pretty stupid movie, but I don't know. It didn't bug me like it did everyone else. But I'll tell you this. I like the first two League of Extraordinary Gentlemen series. Oh, the second one was pretty disturbing. But if you haven't read some of the other ones he did later in the 2000s, like Black Dossier and some of those other weird ones, I'm sorry. Those first two were okay. Some of those later ones are just, they're, I'm not even going to say it. They're mind-boggling. They are absolutely, I'm not even going to go into it. They're terrible. They're terrible. They are flat out disturbing. They're flat out insane. Good Lord. Yes, Phantom Outsider, Alan Moore Supreme is definitely a love letter to pre-crisis Superman and DC to an extent. I love his Supreme. It was so good. Jamin says, I like the movie. I'm currently reading Alan Quatermain's sequel, King Solomon's Mines. Yeah, the movie, I don't know, it was goofy fun. Didn't really bother me that much. But again, we knew it wasn't. Look, there's no way they were going to make a movie based on Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It wasn't going to happen. And so the movie's silly, dopey, fun. I really did like, I actually really liked the guy that played Nemo. I thought he was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people really hate that movie. I was like, I don't know. I walked out and I didn't get the memo. So I walked out thinking it was kind of okay. Then everyone, this was really before there was a big internet presence. It was internet, but like a lot of people weren't going off about it. And I find out years later that I'm supposed to really hate that movie. I'm like, oh, so that's happened to me on some movies. Like I've sort of liked them okay and not got the memo. And then found out, no, you're supposed to hate it. Everyone hates that one. Oh, shoot. I guess I got to hate it now. That's happened to me on a few movies. We all miss the memo sometimes, don't we? But, yeah. What can you do? For me, oh, yeah, I remember. All right, I will tell you this. Because we was talking earlier about The Batman. You could all just start laughing at me right now because I'm not sure about this yet. Because, like I say, I think that The Batman trailer is crap. It's horrible. I have no interest in that garbage. It looks terrible. I'm sick of them always starting Batman toward the beginning of his career, going too grungy, too darky, everything about it. Sparkly Bat movie, especially with his Iron Man armor that absorbs bullets. I just screw it. I hate that. That trailer makes me sick. How anyone can get excited about that? Thank you, Jay, man. It is horrible. Now, again, if you like it, because a few people that I really like, and I respect a lot and still do, or thought it looked good. I see nothing good in that thing, but if you do, whatever. I'm not going to pay a dime to see it. I'll watch it at some point. But I judge ye not, because I'm almost tempted. This is going to sound bad. I think next week, or was it next week or the week after, that Eternals crap is coming out. I see the Eternals toys are already out. That's true, Jedi Bill. Sean Connery left acting because of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's what I hear anyway. I've heard that. So, the Squirnals is coming out. And because I have nothing for it. It looks horrible. But I don't usually go see things just for review. I don't like I used to. Because it's Kirby's Eternals, and this will be nothing to do with Kirby's Eternals. We all know that. I might actually go like at early in the morning at a $5 feature or whatever it is, $6 feature down here. Get some popcorn, sit in the theater by myself, and watch that garbage. If I choose to do that, it'll be a review show that night. I'll review it. Then again, I know I'm probably just going to be too lazy to bother, but I might just do that. It really looks terrible. I'm almost fascinated by how terrible that. I gotta be honest with you. Usually, if something just looks like terrible schlock, like the Batman and some of this other crap DC's doing, and the Ezra Miller Flash thingy, I don't even care about that crap. I know a lot of people are excited about Michael Keaton, as I said at the outset. Fine if you're Fine if you're into that sort of thing. That movie does. I don't care that Michael Keaton's in it. I just don't give a shit. But some people do, and that's fine. I have no interest in it. But there's almost something that makes me want to watch Eternals. I can't believe these idiots did this. And yes, I will be embarrassed, and you can all make fun of me if I'm dumb enough to do it. Hell, you won't have to make fun of me. I'll be making fun of myself. I hear you, Phantom Outsider. Eternals, indeed. I've seen the toys. By the way, I saw the toys the other day. They look just as shitty as the movie, though. So I don't know. I might go sit through it and review it just for the shits and the giggles of it. And Hungry Boy says, I'll watch Eternals for free. I just can't help myself due to how much I love Kirby. Says, yeah, I mean, it's something about Kirby compelling me to go watch this thing and rip it to pieces. Or, look, no, you got to go fair. If there's any possibility of it being at least anything good to say about it, and again, you have no reason to believe me, but I've always been this way, and I think I've stuck to it. If I've watched a lot of things that I thought were going to be total horrible crap, and said it for years, and if I turn out to have to eat my words, or at least go, yeah, I admit this was okay or that okay, or I really, even sometimes I've totally turned around and go, I thought this was going to be terrible and I liked it. If that happens, I'm going to eat the crow. I'll hey, look, I was wrong. That's the way I've always been. If I bother to go see the thing, I might just decide to get too lazy and not go. The toys are lifeless. The movie looks very bland. Nothing like Kirby's creation. Absolutely. Hey, J-Man, take it easy, buddy. You have a great night. Thanks for hanging out here, man. Appreciate seeing you, brother. Hey, Matthew Pounder, good to see you, buddy. Matthew, yes, it probably is based more on that Neil Gaiman Eternal series, which I never bought. I think I bought the graphic album and gave it to a friend of mine who was a Neil Gaiman fan, but so I'll go sit through it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm all over the place on it. And because I just don't go see anything anymore. I haven't been to the theater to see a film since a year ago, August, when I went to see The Empire Strikes Back, my all-time favorite movie at the movie theater. Before that, I went to see Spider-Man Far From Good. And I think before that, I'd seen Endgame a number of times, and that was about it. So maybe I will walk into there. Hungry Boy says, I got you, Clobby. I thought Heath Ledger was going to suck as the Joker. I'm one that really, I thought he was okay. I'm not one of those that thinks it's the great, his performance is excellent. I hate the way he looked as the Joker. It looked like somebody took his face and slammed it into a Mary Kay cabinet. I hate his look. The performance was really good, though. So, yeah, a lot of people thought he wouldn't be, so that's true. But, yeah. Tim A says, far from good, so it was far from being good. Yeah, that's just a personal opinion. I don't like either one of those Iron Spider-Boy movies. I like Tom Holland, and I think he's more passable in Captain America Civil War and even Infinity War, but when he gets both of his own two films, first one had Michael Keaton, who was pretty good in it and stuff, but for the most part, I just can't stand it. It's not Spider-Man to me. That's not my Spidey. I can't sit there and watch it and make the concessions. It's easier to make those concessions in Captain America Civil War and Infinity War because he's there with a bunch of other superheroes, if you see what I'm saying. But when he's left to his own film, I got to watch that and think, that's supposed to be Spider-Man? I just don't like it. I don't like anything about the whole Iron Spidey thing. The whole Spidey and Tony Stark dynamic, not my bag. Not my Spidey. Yeah, not my, just not my Spider-Man. So, yeah, a lot of people like him, and that's fine, but not me. And I like the actor. It's just, yeah. Oliver Melamonte says, I would read Alex Ross and Paul Dini's Superman Peace on Earth, Batman War on Crime, Wonder Woman Spirit and Truth, and Captain Marvel Power Hope. Those are excellent. I agree. If no one's read those, you should. Oliver Belamonte, I totally agree. I really love those, and they were treasury, kind of like this. They were treasury size of those old tablet treasuries. I really did enjoy those. Those are great. Also, Oliver, you probably read this about a little over a year ago. The great Mark C. and I did a show where we reviewed Justice by Alex Ross and Jim Kruger, which I thought was brilliant and one of the most underrated comics ever. It's kind of funny when I first read it, I guess because I was reading it on a monthly basis. It took forever to come out. I didn't get as much out of it as when I went back and reread it last year for our review show. And I look at that thing. I think Dougie Braithwaite did help him with a lot of the art. I look at that thing and I read it and I go, if I were given the chance, if someone said, look, you just you found a genie in a bottle and it's going to grant you one wish, but it has to do with movies. You can't wish for money or anything like that. But you get to choose the exactly what comic book, or at least in tone, how you would like the DC heroes, the Justice League. Let's say this genie is a comic book geek and won't let me wish for anything but that. How do you what would you want to see in the Justice League film? I would say I want this adapted, and I want the story adapted right, and I want it to look just like the Alex Ross comic. Don't screw with costumes. They don't. I want that story. I think that story was amazing. I want it all adapted. I don't care if it's 6 hours. You deal with it, and I'll say do that. That's the way we got. It's. I think it's that good a story. I mean, when you read that, it's very Alan Moore-esque in terms of his creativity. I know Ross co-plotted a lot of it. I do believe Jim Kruger did an excellent job with it, and there's so many great concepts. Anyway, a year or so ago, Mark C. and I reviewed that comic, and I loved it. So anyway, that's Justice by Alex Ross, for around 2007 or something like that. Well, you got to see Jim Kruger too. He really great story. Chris Perza says, I agree concerning Spider-Lad. He's been completely reliant on Tony Stark in the MCU. He's supposed to be a genius that created his own tech and Iron Spider suit without Star Tech, just not Stark's flunky. Yes, Spider-Man doesn't need a stupid tech suit. I hate it. I really hate that. Fed My Slider says, but Spidey waiting to take time off. Yeah, he'd like to, but there are bad people out there, and bad things are happening to good people. Well, with great power comes greater responsibility. But yeah, I mean, look, that movie. So, anyway, yeah, look, what can you do? Eternals, though, it's all been said. The chances of that even being, I don't know. We've all been saying how horrible it looks, so the chances are, hello there, Ironcaster. Good to see you, my friend. I think the chances of it being, I don't know. Maybe we've all said it looks so bad. Maybe it won't be able to be quite as bad as we say, but it just won't be good. There's no, I can't see any way how that look and any of that could be, and all the sex changes and changes and crap they've done with this. I can't see me warming up to it, even if it's fairly entertaining. But at the most that could happen is it could be entertaining without really being much like the Kirby comic, but still have interesting, decent action. Maybe a couple of the characters might be okay. Maybe it'll have an okay story. I'm very, very skeptical that it will. One thing it does have going for it, I mean, I've read the Eternals comics, those Kirby issues in a long, long time. But it was never my favorite Kirby stuff anyway. I like his Fourth World stuff better. But Icarus and Ajax and all and was it Cersei? None of these characters were ever big deals to me. And you know how much I love Kirby. I mean, it's a beautiful comic, and the art was fantastic. It was him, in my opinion, trying to recapture a bit of his Fourth World. But none of these characters mean that much to me. Like as we were just talking about Spidey, and when we were talking about Batman and or Superman or Iron Man or whomever, the Fantastic Four. None of these characters are. It's the Kirby relation that is the most important thing here, and it won't look Kirby-ish. That's obvious. But none of these characters really are ones that I think about that often. Icarus or any of them. I have nothing against or for them. I'm just like, it's just a beautiful looking Kirby book that never did 18 issues or whatever in an annual or something. And it never was that big of a deal for me. I remember I bought it off the rack occasionally when it came out. And I think later I bought a bunch of them in a quarter box somewhere. And you'd see them in quarter bins forever. Even when they brought it back as a miniseries in the late 80s or something with Sal Buscema doing it or whatever. So it just never was. The Eternals never meant a whole lot to me. Kirby means way more to me than that. So you can't really ruin characters that aren't even, they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. So other than how stupid it is to do the race changes and stuff, I can watch that movie and think it's a total piece of crap and not really be angry about characterization because I never really got into the characters that much anyway. Whereas when I see it done, how badly they handle, how it looks, we're really going to be handling Batman horribly with the sparkly Batboy, or when they do bastardize a character like Superman in that garbage Man of Steel by Snyder, or whatever. That angers me because this is characters that I love. When it's it's characters that I don't have a lot of, emotional attachment to. Because my only emotional attachment to Kirby to Eternals is Kirby. Characters, again, they just weren't my favorite Kirby creation. They were okay. I think the sex changes are stupid that they've done and all that stuff, of course. So if the movie's really, really bad, I'm going to walk out going, whatever. You probably can't really bastardize Icarus for me to where I'll care that much. If you see where I'm coming from. And what pop culture says, that could be the Eternals. He says the Eternals will probably be a good movie to the people who have never read the comics. And I don't know. That could be, or it might just be boring to them. But it won't be appealing to the people who did read the comics or who do love it. Hungry Boy said, well, I say won't. I don't know, but I'm just saying it probably won't. Let's say probably. Be fair and say probably. Hungry Boy says, my problem is more with the dialogue heard in the trailer, Sclobby, and the elements I smell in the script from the documentary Furpo guys behind the script. Are you speaking of Eternals there, Hungry Boy? In the comics, Reed Richards, who is smarter than Stark, is impressed with Spider-Man's intelligence. That is true. When you can impress Reed Richards, you're good. Yes, he was always impressed with Spidey's intelligence, and that's why I just can't stand the whole Peter Parker, Tony Stark dynamic. I don't like it. They can be friends, but not. I don't want him to be the mentor. Eternals looks too drab. Kirby's work is bright. Yeah, there's the thing. The biggest problem with Eternals is going to be, whether it sucks or not, is that it's not faithful to the look of Kirby, and that's a big, big no-no. And they're idiots. Even though Ragnarok, which people gave a little bit too much credit for being Kirby-ish, has a few touches of Kirby look in it here and there. People really kind of raved a little bit too much about that. Like, oh, it was so Kirby. And there were a couple of scenes here and there that had some Kirby art on the back. I wouldn't say it's all that Kirby-ish. Ragnarok, but it does have some nice homages and touches of Kirby here and there in it that I enjoyed. I just don't think it was like pure wall-to-wall Kirby like everyone says. I think it was just like a little. It was a little bit there. It was fine. I like it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it was. I'm bouncing off the walls, going, "Oh, it was so Kirby." I don't know about that. Famous out careful, buddy. We don't want to start worrying. Look, don't even get me started on this. What they're going to do, the Fantastic Four. I just can't take it right now. Phantom Outsider, I have a theory. We will all like Eternals. We all like, in quotations, Eternals, but aren't as attached to them as others. It's the equality of the Eternals. There is really no difference except appearance for them. Yes. They don't. Yeah. Hey, your Muslim uncle. What is up, my friend? It's great to see you. I hope you are doing well, you and yours. My friend, thank you for being here. Thanks for popping in. It is great to see you. Ironcaster, Eternals is a chance for them to do the Inhumans again. Yeah. Crap. Inhumans was so bad. Oh, God, that show was freaking horrible. There are too many new characters in the Eternals movie. They don't have enough time to invest in establishing each of them individually and tell a larger story, says D. Bud Martin as well. That's also a good point. Yeah. Too true, bud. Too true. So, yeah, look, it might wind up being not just so much bad, it's boring. That's what it really looks more like to me than anything else. It looks boring. I'm really apathetic towards it. That's why I might actually just go see it. And look, if there's anything to say nice about it, I will. Jeez. Oh, crap. It's like Icarus is the strongest, Mackay is the fastest, but any of the others can be equally strong and fast as other two. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you what. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I do right now? I'm going to leave my fate in the hands of my wonderful friends who are here with me for Monday Night Mark C Comic Talk, and I appreciate y'all being here. Okay. In the show of hands, well, let's see here. If you want me to go watch Eternals and review it on a Monday night, go watch it and review it. Put an E. If you don't want me to go watch it, put an F in the chat. And I will abide by whatever you guys put in there. After 10 years of MCU, I get a feeling that there's nothing, no direction. Inhumans. We got one E. We got an F. We're 1-1 now, folks. That's an exciting, thrilling event here on Monday Night Moxie. Another F by Chris Persia. Don't go see it. 2-1 against Mock D with a C. Here we have Howard Cosell bringing you an exciting Monday Night Moxie Comics Talk extravaganza. So it's 2-1 right now. Oh, I'll review the hell out of it if you guys send me to see it. E and an F. So help me keep track of these things, Mark, if you would. Let's see. It's 1-2, 3, 4. I'm not writing it down, so I'm going to have to stop my, F. So I've got 1 E. Mark D, if you would be so kind to keep track of it, buddy, it's tough for me to see it. 1 E, F, E. I want you to review it, but I don't want you to. No, it's okay. It's not suffering. I'll have popcorn. I'll be fine. I can sit through any old crap. F, review. Hey, Narada and Amanda Bear, there, watch it for free. You know what? I don't mind going to sit at the theater and just sitting there and watching the crap. I'll have some popcorn and some M&Ms and some big old Coke or whatever, and a seat by myself in the middle of the day. I like going to movies by myself. I do everything by myself because I'm by myself. How are we doing on the score here? Let's see. 1 E and then rip it. Oh, I'll rip it to pieces. If I hate it. Oh, Matthew Pounder. E is if for me to go watch Eternals so I can review it, or F so I don't go watch. That's true, Ironcaster. I will sit through the holiday special if there's popcorn. I'll make the popcorn, in fact. Look, I know the big boys are going to do it. Az and Gary and maybe Doomcock. I'm sure those they're going to go. they're going to go review it. But this, the Kirby gatekeeper that I am, we'll see. 3 yes, 7 no. Okay. Wow, I'm spared. I'll still watch it, but now I just wanted to see what you guys, So you're saying I shouldn't review it then? I still want to review it. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat, Eric K. Clobby, always hoped for a Wesley movie. Ugh. I bet you guys would send me to see that one. F. Matthew Pounder, don't subject yourself to that. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, Jedi Bill. I actually like going by myself. Hungry Boy says Doomcock has to see it. Kirby is Doomcock Pope, which I approve of. Eat popcorn at home. I do that a lot. I do it too much, actually. Yeah. Oliver says DC shouldn't to put Batman reboots, but I wish they would do Batman Beyond based on Bruce Timm, Paul Dini's story of an old Bruce Wayne training Terry McGinnis. And, I'm kind of torn. I like Batman Beyond, but I would want them to do it right. And I don't know if they're capable of doing it right anymore. But I hear you. I've decided. Hey, Mark D, I got to know. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Jedi Bill. I'm with you. I've decided now that I used to say this all the time, like all fans. If someone said, "Hey, what is the property that you would most like to see made a movie or TV show?" When we used to talk about that all the time. You go, "Oh, I wish they would do this. Oh, I wish they would do that." I can't do it anymore. I can't say it anymore because I don't want them adapting anything anymore. I have no faith in Hollywood. In fact, now it's just the cringe factor. It's like if Oliver, for example, they announced a Batman Beyond live action or what have you, whereas 10 years ago I'm like, oh, that could be all right. Now I'm like, please don't. Please, for the love of God, don't touch it. Now, and again, especially if it were something that I really, really, really love, like Thunder the Barbarian, for some reason, they haven't touched it yet, and they probably never will. I say that, but look, so I hope they never touch that. Leave Kirby's Commandy alone, too, while you're at it. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, live action movie. But, I do wish there was more animated stuff coming out, adaptations. I say this all the time. Really, when it comes to comics now, I'm kind of done with the live action adaptations. Not that they can't do good ones, and not that I haven't liked a lot of them. I was kind of embarrassed. Johnny Bill says, "Hey, if you go watch it, so will I. The same day you do review, and review it with you." Well, there you go. That would be fun. Week before last, I think it was, or a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I could have Devil Dinosaur. I was, very honored to be on with Lord Doomcock on his 4th anniversary show, and one of the things we were talking about was I was kind of not prepared. I thought we were just going to talk about our favorite movies in general. He did like a top 10 list, and he asked a few other people like Tom and Andre their top favorite movies and stuff like that. The great guys from Midnight's Edge, and but then he asked me for my top, and so that's the list I had ready. I thought I was going to be doing that. I thought I would be doing the top, just my top favorite movies in general. I had not compiled one of my favorite comic book movies, but he wanted a list like that. And I was kind of, but it got me thinking, and I thought about this before. I had to pull a bunch of them just kind of out willy-nilly like that. I like a lot of I like some comic book movies, but as much as you think, because I love comics so much, and I'm all about comics over here for the most part, or a lot, that I would have like tons of them that I like, but I really don't like very many comic book adapted movies. I mean, I do, but as far as love them, like, yeah, when a few months ago, when Flash and I, for example, did our top 25 all-time favorite film list, I realized that there are only, either 2 or 3 of those of my top 25 are comic book related movies. Is it 2 or is it 3? I think 2 of them, only 2. So I was like humming. I was like, oh no, I'm on the spot now, because I thought I was just going to talk like great movies in general or favorite movies in general. So I had to just pull out like 5 or 6, and I was embarrassed. I know Doomcock, because Doomcock's been so good to me. He's a great friend. I love Doomcock, but I was like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed, but I don't have anything really set up because I didn't think about it long enough. I was just thinking along with just movies in general. So that was my bad, not his. I'm the one that misunderstood. But I really look like an idiot. I'm fumbling around trying to figure out, just pull him out there, because I did kind of tell him, yeah, there are not a lot of comic movies that I love that much. There's some I like a lot. And Kal-El says, before the dark times of wokeness, I used to look forward to an adaptation of a property. Now I brace myself, for the woke beating. Every time. I mean, when I see it now. But see, here's the thing about that also, as I was saying earlier. Flash Gordon in your top 3? No, I didn't put Flash Gordon up there. I do like it. Matthew Pounder, I like that movie, but I didn't put it at the top there. But the 2 that made my top 25, of course, were Superman the movie at my second all-time favorite movie, like number 2, I think. And then, of course, I had somewhere in the teens, I had Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I love. I mean, I love a lot. I love some comic book movies, but for the most part, let's see, the whole, Moon Girl, the whole Moon Girl thing. Oh, that's terrible. I'm with you there. So I couldn't really think of anything, in that many comic book movies that I really, really love. I mean, there's some are okay, and if you name them, I go, yeah, that was pretty good. That one was okay. But it's just because I am so picky about comics, I'm rarely satisfied with how they adapt them. Some of them, again, I like some of them a lot. The great Michael French and I, great Michael French of the Great Retro Blasting thing, we ranked the Marvel movie, the MCU movies, I should say, a few months ago, and it was a lot of fun. It was before Black Widow came out, so it was all 23. We ranked them worst to first, as you say. Had a big crowd and everything, and it was a lot of fun. And I do like a lot of them. Once you get inside that 4, 5, or 6, or 7, they drop from liking them a lot to like, that was okay. This one's all right. Absolutely, Tim Hayes. I love Michael French. He's a great buddy. So yeah, it's weird. But I love movies and I love comics, as you know, but they rarely, and I guess that's what I was saying. Before it was the woke concern. Long before it was the concern that, oh my God, they're going to put all this woke crap in it. And that's there now, right? When they would adapt a comic book or a comic or a book or whatever that I loved, my concern was not wokeness. It was, oh my God, they're just going to change and screw around with everything just to do it, and I hate it. So I really, yes, again, this goes back to what I was talking about, how comics were ruined before wokeness really, really was as big as it was. Well, a lot of movie adaptations of comics that I love were ruined that had nothing to do with wokeness. They just changed and screw around with things, and I didn't like what they did. Not that it's not, the wokeness isn't there. Your Muslim uncle with the $4.99 subject. Thank you so much, my friend. I really, really appreciate you for that. He says, if you were doing a Thunder review with Melinda, could you do a few follow-up Discord favorite episodes viewings together, please? I do have a Discord. I haven't used it much, but for you, I would absolutely. And yeah, I'd love. And yeah, Melinda and I one of these days we're gonna get together and get that done. We're gonna talk about it. She's busy, but Yes, we're going to do a Thunder. We're going to talk Thundar here a lot. Melinda and I both love Thundar. So anything for you, your bosom uncle, absolutely, and anything for Melinda. So yes, I just bought the. Did you see the Blu-ray that came out a few months ago? Your bosom uncle, the Thundar Blu-ray. I just got that. It's nice. Stuart Mitchell, Clobby, have you seen the 3-hour ABC extended cut of Superman the movie? Oh yeah, back when it first aired. There are about 3 different versions, really. There's that TV ABC cut that was a 2-parter, like on a Sunday and a Monday night or whatever it was. There's a different extended cut that has a lot of stuff added back into it that came out around the early 2000s, I believe. Obviously, there's a theatrical cut. There's almost 3 or 4 versions of it now. So 3 or 4, and I have a couple of those, couple of different versions of Superman the movie. Yes, I have indeed, sir. And just recently, in fact, I went back and watched them. You know, before Superman the movie aired on ABC. You know, when it was just obviously when I saw it 18 times at the movie theater, and then when it was on cable. And I recorded it and watched it over and over and over again. It was so much easier to quote that movie backwards and forwards. And they started adding all those other ones. Let's see. Kal-El says, panel discussion for Iconicon 20. Hey, that would be a great panel discussion. And Stuart Mitchell, I agree. Retro Blasting is a great channel. And Michael and Melinda are the best. I love them. They're 2 of my dearest friends. They are fantastic. They are just the greatest of people. They're amazing. And again, your Muslim uncle, by the way, I hope all is going well for you and your family. I hope everything and everyone is feeling better and doing much better. Thank you for that. It's always great to see you, my friend. Watched an episode of Ghost Story directed by Richard Donner yesterday. Didn't know he started. Oh yeah, Richard Donner started in TV. Richard Donner worked on my all-time favorite Western TV show, Have Gun Will Travel, and many, many other things, including. And it's funny, he did a lot of TV, including. Did any of you ever watch the Banana Splits? Sid and Marty Krofft? I know you did. They had a live-action TV show on there called Danger Island. I think it was Danger Island. I think it was the name of it, and that was Richard Donner. He made that. But he wrote a lot of TV, directed a lot of TV. And then I think his first big chance in that film was The Omen. If I remember right. I love Mr. Donner. He just passed not too long ago. We love that man. That man was a treasure. He was a great filmmaker. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, you remember Banana Splits? Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Mark D with a C, what are you doing, dude? You out there? Let's see. So, yeah. Good Lord. Oh, my goodness. I have some recommendations here. Deron and Axamander says, I have some recommendations for you all. Azumi, One Punch Man. I've heard of that one. Mashley. Is that how you say that? Mashley? I'm not sure how you say that. Magic and Muscle. One Piece. Immortal Swordsman in the Reverse World History. Well, you know, One Piece, of course, is, as I've mentioned before, Nirat. I don't know if I've mentioned it when you were here. But my son's favorite thing in the world is One Piece. And he's been on my ass to watch, not just watch the anime. He loves the manga better than the anime, really. But he loves it. It's his favorite thing ever. And he's been on my ass to watch. I've watched a little of the manga with him many years ago. He got mad. He said I fell asleep. I mean, I fall asleep a lot of times. That was way back. But I have nothing against it. I'm not that big on manga or anime. It's tough for me to get into. You either get into it or you don't. It's no disrespect. But I don't know. It's just never been my poison. I'm now again highly envy you people who are into the manga and anime because you've got so much out there that's in, and it's still being produced. It's not like it's just old either. You got the old stuff, but some of those guys, like the guy who makes One Piece, who draws it, and he's still doing it. It's still, my son reads it every week when it comes out. He's that up to speed on. He has all the manga books, and he's and he gets it right off the whatever that site is, whatever that site is that he that comes out every week with the new issue or the new installment online. He loves One Piece, and he loves Warhammer 40K. Banana splits were fun, and the animated stuff. The Danger Island was a snooze fest. Yeah, Sid and Marty Krofft were the kings of live action for young minds. Sid and Marty Krofft were some crazy bastards. Did anyone watch the Far Out Space Nuts perchance? There you go. If I want, let's see, Kyle says, if I wanted to send you something, in this case, a superhero-related picture I found online, what's the best way to do so? Are we connected on the Twit Twats there, Kal-El, or do you do the Twit Twat thing? Super sticker for $1.99 from the Great Eric K. Thank you so much, buddy. Clobby wants Wesley manga. He always knows what I want. How'd you know? How did you know that's what I wanted? You're that good. Mark D with a C, you want to jump on for a second, dude, or what? If you got a chance, if you're able, if you're not busy, bro, just let me know. Trust me, Clobby, says near out an Axamandabear. When I say there are hundreds of manga for you out there with hundreds of chapters, give manga a chance. It's like comics, but not as corrupt. No, look, I absolutely do understand that. I absolutely got you. I trust you. You don't even have to convince me. I believe it, really. I just look at it and I go, it's just not. It doesn't jump out at me for the type of stuff, kind of stuff I like. But it doesn't mean I won't read it. But it's kind of more fun to aggravate my son by not reading it. It aggravates him too much, and if I ever started reading it, then he gets to. If I read it and start liking it, he gets to lord it over me. I don't know if I could take that risk, but I have every respect for it. Absolutely. Okay, well, you can just DM that one to me, Kal-El, on the Twitter DMs. So, I'm let's see here, comics wise though. Sid Mar. I often pose this question because I'm always fascinated to see how many people know it. And you got to be old, probably. Does anyone know that Sid and Marty Krofft had an amusement park in Atlanta back in the 70s? They tried to be the new Disney. That's true. And I guess that's why it bombed. No one even knows about it. HR Puffin Stuff. Oop, I give it or not. I have a perverted version of the HR Puffin Stuff song, but I can't do it here. What's up, dude?
Oh, I want to hear that. No, you can't do it.
No, yep. Can't do it. What's up, man?
HR Puffin Stuff. Not much. Just enjoying your show as usual. Yep.
Well, thanks,
good.
man.
So, hi to everyone in the chat. Yep. So,
yep. You're going to be out on the road soon, so I thought I'd just holler at you now since you probably won't be available in that rest of the week, right?
I'll try, or if not, I'll wake up That's Mrs. Cool. D. Last time I did that, I was in the hotel room, and I was in like, you have one of those 2-room things, but, you don't have, the doors aren't that good. She's like, you woke me up last night going on a stream. But I was talking softly. She's a very light sleeper.
What does she think of all the streaming you do?
No, she doesn't mind as long as I'm having fun and it doesn't take away from doing yard work.
No, well, there. I was just curious.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
No, you got to like everything in life is a balance too. So family comes first, and this has been great hanging out with everyone and meeting people. And I think especially because of COVID, we've all said, or the vid, I should say, we've all found meeting each other, and this technology can be a curse, but it's also a blessing because you can. I would never met you. Maybe I would have met you at a con or something, but to be able to hang out and become friends and
do all
that's been great.
All over the world, man.
Yeah. So that's
That's
kind of
right,
what's
dude.
fun about a con, right? You go to the con and you meet people tonight and stay in touch, which is great.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I almost did it though. It was like a habit, force of habit. I almost sang my Puff and Stuff song that I definitely can't sing in public. It's just a habit. HR. Oh, I almost did it again. See, I almost did it again. Oh, HR Puff and Stuff. He's I can't go any farther than that, folks. But it's trust me, it's brilliant. It's magnificent singing, and it would win me a Grammy easily. But I don't, want to take that shortcut.
Yeah.
It's
Or
vile and
get
filthy, actually.
get your channel.
Well, it would get me
canned.
canceled.
Yeah.
It would get me canceled. I will tell you that.
Showing that stupid it wasn't Arkham, it was Alfred Pennyworth thing last night. You show the trailer, right? Then of course my channel's not monetized, so it doesn't matter. They're like,
did you get in trouble?
Well, not in trouble. It's a copyright claim, and they're like,
Wow.
and this can't be played on mobile devices. So I got to find out if anyone can play the video on mobile devices. Not that it matters to my channel that much, but it's like you're showing the trailer, advertising for the guys. It's like, well, it's one thing. All right, you want to get the ad revenue, I guess, but then it's like it can't be shown on mobile devices. It's like, I appreciate the 50 people that watched it or more, but it's I mean, it's kind of ridiculous with these companies. I don't know if you've been hit with that. I guess Purple was showing the Sparkly Batboy trailer today, so I should ask her what happened when she showed put that up on her channel. Didn't VW get taken down, or they stopped the stream?
I heard he did. I think it was VW.
Yeah.
I think he got in trouble for I don't know. Again, we've said this a lot, and not that it matters because they don't listen, but it's a trailer, folks. You would if these people had any logic about them, they would want people to show their trailers.
Yeah.
It's
right?
Advertising. So I don't know.
And you're talking about it, and you're giving them, exactly. I could see maybe they get, I don't know how all this YouTube stuff works, I guess, but maybe they want the ad revenue because it's their trailer. I guess you can't begrudge them that, but then to totally demonetize a video or say you can't show it on mobile. It's and then at the end I was joking. I said I love this movie. It's gonna be the best movie ever. Didn't work gonna have, and I have that the interesting thing I have. Well, that was for Pennyworth actually. It was the funny thing, Pennyworth, and I have that the overlay. But I guess they must have a algorithm or something, or a robot that scans if it's 90% or 80%, with the pattern. But it's silly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pop Culture Republic says, yes, it was VW. He was watching the stream when it was showing the trailers, and oops, that's ridiculous. Well, screw them. Little silly.
Yeah.
Well, what can you do, man? Yeah, it's comics night, folks. It's comics night, and I did nothing. We did talk about comics and comics-related things, so that we did.
Yep. Well, we got the new Thing series coming out November 1st, right? That looks.
Just talking about that right before we came on with a friend of mine, Walter Mosley. And
he's a great guy, so hopefully that'll be decent.
Even I'm glad you brought that up because I never have anything to look forward to with comics anymore. Now, it might turn out to be total shite, but look, your Muslim uncle remembers. I knew about the park because of Dysfunction Land channel. Oh, Defunct Land. Oh, okay. I've never seen that. Do they have a special about it? See that the Sid and Marty Krofft world was in, and I've told you about this before. It was in Atlanta, and this is the 70s. It was shut down in the it was in the early 70s, shut down in the late 70s. And I don't know if any of you in school remember they used to have this. They used to have these magazines called Pizzazz or Dynamite.
Oh yeah, they were like just in schools or whatever.
Yeah, little school magazines, and they had ads for it and stuff. And then in 1990, when I went to Atlanta Fantasy Fair, that's the time I met Kirby the second time. And it was at CNN Center and this World Congress Center or whatever. Dr. Hercule Monkey. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dr. Hercule Monkey.
I went there, and they still had some remnants of Sid and Marty Krofft Land there. And I've seen some pictures online. They had rides and all that crap.
Is that where they got Song of the South from? I heard that when Disney put in Song of the South, they did Splash Mountain. I think they took a bunch of stuff from another theme park or borrowed or copied, or I don't know if it was that theme park, but they actually did take some of the they bought actually part of the items from one theme park. I'll Google it.
Oh, I don't know.
And they used it for Song of the South. I was watching that
For the
Defunct
movie?
Land. No, the theme park ride. Splash Mountain. So when they actually took some of the stuff, or they copied the ride from another
I
theme
don't know.
park.
I don't think they had that kind of rides at Sid and Marty.
Maybe it could be a different theme park, but
By the way, there is a One Piece theme park. By the way, for those of you One Piece fans, Narat Amaxamandabear says One Piece is better than Batman or Superman. I say that as someone who used to think they were the best. They can hold a can. I mean, I guess he means can't hold a candle, but that's about it. Well, I will always love those characters, just the modern versions of blah. But hey, my son loves One Piece, and that's his favorite thing in the world. He often likes to torture me because I raised him reading, great American comics too, and he has every respect for the good stuff, Watchmen, and the Kirby and the Superman, Batman, and Marvel characters and DC characters. It's just not his favorite thing. He loves the One Piece and stuff like that more. However, he does like to say, so just imagine if comics you loved like Legion or Fantastic Four were still being done by the original creator, and he says that's why you should read One Piece and stuff like that, because it's still being done by its original creator. Just imagine if you could still have the Fantastic Four still done by Kirby, or Legion still done the way there's instead of all. And it's the point is, because these characters are handed down and put through the meat grinder and handed to other people that don't care about them. The original creators are long since gone. People who a lot of times people get a hold of these characters, be it Marvel or DC, that don't respect these characters. And whereas you have a situation with the character of One Piece, of course, it's a lot shorter time too. He started that in the 90s. He's still doing it, and he's had health issues. But the guy who created that particular comic or manga is still doing it, and he's been doing it since the 90s. And you have a lot of anime. They have the anime of it as well. But he's of course been doing the manga. And he's been in charge of the anime too. And there's a little theme park of it. It's huge, huge, huge over there. And so I'm like, if there was something, if I loved that much and it was still being done by the original guy, that would be pretty cool. We'll never know that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's not as good. Narat, I mean, I hear you, Narat. I mean, that's what you like the most, but that stuff just doesn't appeal to me the way properly done Superman or Batman or the Fantastic Four. I just love those. Again, that's the one you grew up loving, and I'm with you. I hear you. This is the one I grew up loving. Like I said, my son would definitely agree with you. And he likes to rub it in too. Like, yeah. I still get rub it in, you rat. Why don't you? Oh man, but look. Just you talked about this thing. Do we have any preliminary stuff on this new thing series by Hey, Glenzer, good to see you.
Well, I just put there's an article in the chat if you want to share it, or I could put it up. Or this is
what?
There's an article about it. I just put in the chat if you want to show that.
I didn't see it.
Yep. If you go, it's AIPT Comics.
Where is it?
It's at let's see, timestamp. Let's see here, 11:44 p.m.
I'd have to
if
pop
you click
out a window and
or
all
here
that
I can you want me to share it, or
if you could, I guess, because I'd have
that's easier for me. Yeah,
I don't have a YouTube window up.
Yep, let me do that. Yep.
Because it would be nice. Again, I don't have my hopes super high, but to be able to look for, because we were talking so much, especially early on tonight, about how comics are just so awful, and I never look forward to any new comics. Walter Mosley loves the FF. I do know that about him. Walter Mosley he's the one that came up with the idea for the Maxim Fantastic Four, that book that was that big special, that big book about the Fantastic Four #1 blowing up the panels and stuff. Walter Mosley, of course, was fired off of the staff of STD. You remember that, right? You know about that, right?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't using a certain word, but that he probably should be allowed to say, in private.
In private, too. That's another. Yeah. Dave Rayborn, what's up, buddy? How you doing, cuz?
Yeah, I like that art.
I like the art.
Yeah.
And he's a writer that really loves and respects the Fantastic Four. Does that mean he's not going to mess it up? I don't know. But this is a book I'm willing to give a shot. A modern comic I'm willing to give a shot. You just think it would be impossible. I would think it's impossible. Could turn out to be the worst crap ever. When's it coming out?
November 1st, I think. And I love the classic Thing logo there. Of course, love that.
I love that logo. I love the way
Yeah.
it looks. Walter Mosley. I don't know who Tom Riley is, but okay. Any other art from it or no? What do we got?
Let's say we'll check. And I can Google it too, but I think only 6 issues, which is too bad.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's Google. Let's Google the Thing. Well, here I always Google on the other tab just to be safe. The Thing.
Okay, Kal-El. Let me see what it's
2021. Let's see what comes up here. Let's see if we get another. Well, here's the Marvel take on it. Let's see if we get any more images here. Nope, that's basically the same thing. Here we go. Issue number 1. Here's the. Let's see if Bleeding Cool has some more pictures. Looks like they've all got just that same cover. But like you said, that cool, looks cool. And then, like you said, that's great. Mosley is a great guy. So one can only hope that with him writing it, that it's gonna end up
didn't say much about the story, huh?
Not too much. Yeah, they just, I guess. What did they have? Any teaser on it?
Throughout the Marvel Universe, as well as precision artwork. Now that slightly disturbs me because we'll see modern crap iterations of the characters, perhaps. But I'm willing to give this one a shot.
Yeah,
and that's saying something for me.
Right?
Did some checking. Sid and Marty Krofft theme park was in Atlanta. Yep, Omni. That's right. Which is now CNN Center. That's where I saw it. And Sid and Marty Krofft characters running. So that will be yes. Fact check. Yes, they are running it. So go ahead.
Let's see what we got here. I'm just at an image search. Of course, it comes up with Swamp Thing.
Yeah. So we don't have any art from it.
Yeah, I guess there's not that much stuff. I'm surprised. You think usually they would give you. It's only a couple weeks away, if that. So you'd think they would show some more. Let me go into my my comic book store that I buy from. Let me see if they have alternate covers or anything. Let's see. Let's check that out. Sometimes Atomic Empire.
The Thing and the Phantom.
Oh, is that?
I don't think it's Ross. That's not him.
Oh, it's not him.
I don't know. It might be. No, I'm not sure. I don't think he did that one. By the way, he watched our show later. Remember what?
Oh, he did.
Geek Gang when we
did great. That? He did. Awesome.
Yeah, and he commented a couple times on the show.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Talented artist, great imagination. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see what we can find. The Thing here. Let's pull this over. So I always say support your local comic shop, but unfortunately mine closed, and the nearest is like a half-hour drive away or 20 minutes. So this is where I get my comics on Atomic Empire. Not yet rated, but here we go. Here's number 2.
Oh, okay. We got a cover.
So we can check out the cover number 2.
Huh?
And what's going on there? Who is that?
Who is he fighting?
Who the heck is that?
Is that Rage or something?
Could be Rage, right? Did they age up Rage, or is he still a young kid?
I do not know.
Phantom will know. Let's see. View all 3
I don't think
covers.
Phantom reads new shit either.
Yeah, but he would.
I'm sure Phantom don't read no new crap. Riley Eastman cover, huh? Eastman is in Kevin.
Yeah, no image yet. Yeah. See, this is what drives me crazy about comics today too. It's like they have all these GD variant covers, right?
Oh God, it could be like
you got to go in and pick.
Covers.
Some of them are like 30 variant covers. It's like 1 or 2 maybe.
That's
like
the one I would want.
Yeah, like on an issue number 1,
That's
I can see.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see. But here, look how many. This isn't too bad. There's 4 covers, but I'll show you another title. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Purple wouldn't like it with Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
having no head there. That's a Doom bot, obviously, but
I guess
that's kind of cool. Interesting take. Yeah, interesting take. And what's cover? Let's see here.
Matthew Pounder. I don't blame you. I love some Bronze Age. That's interesting. I guess
I don't really like that, but if you
like
do,
the art too much.
I guess it's going for
what he's fighting right there.
Is that Tiger? It's definitely
Big
not Tiger.
Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
And that's a 1 in 25, so you have to actually bid on that and spend $10. And then this is the headshot one. Let's see.
That's all right.
So that's not bad, yeah. That's kind of cool.
You ever notice how, like, even when a comic book cover these days, even if the art's okay, like if the guy's a good artist or whatever,
yeah,
they don't have any kind of personality, the comic book covers anymore. You know, Matthew Powder mentions he only collects Bronze Age. Bronze Age covers had character. Of course, so did Silver. Bronze. Comic book covers that had character and that stood out. I don't mean characters on them either. I mean, they just had a certain style to them. They were pretty cool.
And they sometimes they tell part of the story too. So it's so let's see here. Let's go to comics subscriptions. Let's see here. Where the heck is that?
Yeah.
You can see, like here, here's a.
They got a facsimile of that coming out. Is they expensive already? I missed some of those facsimiles that I wanted to get. It will be though.
$4.
Tell you what, these facsimiles are getting stupid in price.
They're going up in price, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
depends on which one. A couple
of my passed up that I wanted now that are ridiculous price because I was buying for a year or two there. I was buying every one of the facsimiles that I wanted, and even some of those True Believers, which are not facsimiles. So wow, yeah.
But let's see what's. I just want to grab like a new comic. Oh, we got Orville. Let's see here.
I'm missing a couple issues of the Orville comics now.
So I guess that's just
Orville comics have been pretty good though.
Yeah, the Orville's good. So hopefully we're gonna get a Orville fourth season. We'll see here.
Third season.
Well,
they made the third season.
Yeah, we'll get the fourth. Yeah, that's still fourth season, still up in the air. Yep.
Yeah, Betty Page comic. Every time I go to the comic shop, I flip through it to see if it's any good. Ugh, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Let's see, September. Let's see, where's Marvel Comics?
What in bloody hell is that, boy? Jeez.
Let's see, do browse by title. Yeah. Let's just see Batman, right? For the heck of it. Click on Batman. You'll see how many variants. Ridiculous. Like, for Batman for 119, right? There's A, B, C, and D, right? Why does this title need... Like, every issue is like 4 variants, right? And it's a 1 in 50.
Only way they can sell any damn thing now, I guess. Because there are people who buy these stupid variants.
But, I mean, that's the only way they're making... they're making money is by they're trying to make money, but they're not really selling that many, right? And when you think about it, of 1 in 50, so they're doing all these, at least ABC, and the comp software that I use, they used to use A through Z, and then they had a problem because then when some issues had more than 26 variants, they were like, what? There was like a debate like on how to number the comics.
Max Amandabear says, I bought an actual holographic Marvel Venom card thanks to you, Clobby. It's the only non-business card that I own. Thanks to me? How you have to explain how that was on me there, sir. Mother says,
see, God. Batman can stop lasers now too.
Make him non-binary. Right? That's a good point there, Muslim. What's that?
Look, Batman can stop lasers now too. Don't forget.
Yeah, what?
Oh, I don't know what that is, but
that's weird.
Or it could be just
he can stop bullets. That's for sure. Well, sparkly Batboy. Maybe it's the sparkle powers that make those bullets go away.
See, that's a cool cover.
You like that?
I like that guy. I like that.
Yeah, I guess it's good art. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's okay. The art is, but $6, right? $6.
Only $6
now. $6. Yep.
25 exciting pages of $6.
Polka Dot Man. All right.
And Polka Dot Man. Laser.
Spoilers. Why did they squash him? Let's see, 1 in 25. But they're trying to create key collectors basically by these,
Yep.
buying these issues. So I'm trying to see if there was another a new whenever there's a number one or something that's out, they just go bonkers with how many. Let's see, Moon Knight was that? Do they have number
When
one
is
on
that
Moon Knight?
show coming out?
I think it's coming up pretty soon. Let's see, number 5. Let's see how many.
I was inspired by your nostalgia. The only other Marvel merch I own is '90s MODOK action figure. I have that one.
MODOK, yeah.
I have that '90s one. I don't have the new one.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's famous quote is
I had the Build-A-Figure. The MODOK Build-A-Figure is the one I have. Yep.
I love that quote though. You have a strong streak of goodness inside you, Superman, but then nobody's perfect. Almost nobody. Yep, love it. Speaking of that, I have a cool picture to show to you.
Yeah, but this is horrible. Yeah, this is horrible. This art.
I don't. Do you like it?
I think that's horrible. This one.
I think it sucks donkeys. I hate. Maybe it's not. Yeah. Is it the art or just it's the art? But it's the costume too. That's not a good Moon Knight costume. That sucks.
But it's the art on that's not good.
Oh my god. Ah!
Yeah, that's not good.
That suckles.
Not telling you anything.
I don't like the costume either. I mean, Moon Knight's costume. Yeah. Look at the leg. Look at the dude's.
What the heck's going
Fantastic?
on there? What's going on there?
He's got a plastic man leg there.
Is that supposed to be the same cover as this one? Oh yeah, that's. What's going on?
That sucks.
I mean, these are issue number 1.
That costume. That's for the new Moon. I don't like that either. I don't like
that's
that costume.
That's kind of spawny.
Yeah, it looks like you're right, Phantom. It looks like Ragman.
Yeah.
It blows.
At least we got Ragman and Arrow, right? God, what's going on there? Moonlight armored.
They're all armory these
Batman.
days. Spikes and armor.
Yeah,
so there used to be a thing in the '90s that they used to bitch about all the time. Spikes and armor. Ugh, yeah. What in the hell is this?
Is there one good cover? I mean, you think they'd be releasing?
Yeah, with that many variants.
Oh, here we go. There's
that looks like the old costume, at least.
Yeah, yeah. See, like that's the only one. Old one, but
that was the only one that looks like the old costume. Nah,
mediocre.
Not my bag, but it's better.
Not
than
enough going on. Yeah. So far we haven't found one good Moon Knight cover.
Other than the throwback one, I don't like any of these. That's poo-poo right there.
That's too much going on, yeah.
Matthew Pounder, I'm with you, buddy. Give me Kubert any day. When it comes to Moon Knight, I'll take Sienkiewicz any day, and he's an a-hole.
Who's that on the cover? What kind of Spider-Man is that?
I don't know which Spider-Boy that is, but at least Moonlight looks like himself, sort of.
Yeah. Is that the Watcher? Nope.
What in the hell?
I don't know. So this is what you wonder why the comic industry isn't doing so well. But yeah, it's there doesn't look like any good covers there. Yeah, maybe this one. Let's see. How's that look? Not that good. There's not enough going on. Like an old Kirby cover, like it had so much told you a story in that one panel.
Covers are crap.
They would Yeah, good. Sorry about this, guys, but yeah, this is.
Yeah. That's nutty.
Great.
That sucks too. But these covers are really crapola.
Yeah, I mean, see, there's nothing. All right, we got to see one good cover, right? Let's see. What's Venom, Thor, Star Wars, Joker? There's got to be something good going on. All right, Batman, Catwoman. What's going on? That's a new series. What the heck is going on here with this? Let's see. Issue number 1. You think an issue number 1 would have a good cover? Let's see. Is that supposed to be Michael Keaton? Huh.
Where?
This Which cover one? Is that?
Maybe. Is that Batman? Not Batman '89, is it?
No, it's a Batman Catwoman number 2 cover. Yep. Huh. Let's see. So number 1 cover. Let's see what photorealistic.
What is this crap? Is this new crap or something? I mean,
this is new crap. Well, yeah, this is current.
I mean, like this week or something.
Well, this was 5/12/21, so May.
Okay.
May. I mean, it's a relatively new series, so with Jim Lee. So I was just trying to see maybe we'll get one good cover. Something looks decent. I don't even see anything that looks good. Let's see. Let's see this one, number 2. That's not good either. Yeah. God, it's just really depressing. I mean, they have, you can go to this website, Atomic Empire, and just check out all the covers, but it's really really some bad stuff out there. The Berserk right here has been actually pretty good. I don't know if anyone out in the chat has read it or what they think of that, but
You been reading that?
I haven't read this, but Ron Garney's a really good artist. I like Garney, so, and one of my cousin's actually a friend of Garney's, so that's a fun thing. So I got a copy of that Fantastic Four Grim Noir signed by him up on my wall now. So, but I guess this has been doing pretty well. So let's see. All right, well, I guess we're striking out here with. That's interesting. That's, I don't know who Garney did that. That's not Garney, is it? No. Grandpa. All right. Well, enough of that, I guess. Yep. Sorry to hurt everyone's eyes there.
Oh, that's terrible.
But the thing miniseries looks good, so I'd recommend giving that a shot.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
There, but
no, that's okay. Yeah,
people.
but that's okay. No, but they do. Yeah, it's just like it's a sickness. All these extra covers. It's just and crossovers, and that's why I always talk about how much I love the series Spider Girl, because it was kind of a throwback series. Much later, when Marvel had kind of gone, or comics had gone kind of off the rail. It was like a simple series that told the story. You got to see Peter and Mary Jane together, with Mayday Parker, and set probably 20 years in the future. So, but it was written so that you could follow the story. It wasn't like X-Men where everything was all over the place and nothing was resolved and all these crossovers. You could just buy the damn book and you got your story in that one book, and that was it. It was
all right, Chris Persia.
Good night,
Thank
Chris.
you, buddy. Take care, bro.
Take care.
Doing well, man. Yeah, this is oh man, dude.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. Yep, not going to be good. All these
comics are poo-poo. Everyone, sorry.
Well, that's why manga's killing the industry, right? I mean,
manga's killing everything. No, it isn't manga. It's them killing themselves.
Well, killing themselves. I mean, just I should say,
they're defeating them.
Winning.
Yes,
they're winning.
Yeah, they're going about their business. Yeah. So, sorry you lost your vote, man. I was gonna abide by the rule of the council and go to see these Squirtles, the Infernals.
Well,
and you lose.
Yep.
You lose.
Now I have to go see and review it on my channel. Then, damn you all.
No, I'll go. I'm not the first night or anything.
I'll go the first night. I have a buddy that we've been going to every Marvel movie since they came out. Opening night. It's kind of a tradition. So even if the movie that's not good, we've been going. So
Phantom Outsider, I gotta tell you something, dude. Although I don't like that, what you said, no, what killed him is the woke cancer they injected. I don't disagree with that, but I can only just on a personal level. What also killed him is they were doing a lot of lousy shit when I left them before they were doing that much of the wokey crap. They were pissing me off. Doing a lot of revisionist horse shit.
It's a combination of the both. I think the comics got really bad,
and
then they went, virtue signaling, and like we were talking about on the show last night in terms of Superman getting involved in everyday politics. Of course you want Superman to make the world better and solve problems, but once you get him into realistic problems, it's a slippery slope, because what does he not do, right? I mean, it's kind of like when we talked about 9/11 when they had that issue with the heroes
Good night,
helping the
Sherry.
aftermath. Good night, Sherry.
Thank you for being here, Sherry. Good.
You
No,
know,
you're
helping
right.
the aftermath of 9/11. As much as that was touching issue, I mean, you know, I'm right near, near New York City, and it was, I know it was a good intent, but it was just then you've got, you did a good take on it too when you said the villains were upset. You know, the villains would have been upset over that. I mean, they would have been celebrating. You know, so it's just you take it. You know, it's a fantasy. It's fun, and if you want to have allegory and have stories, where Superman's fighting injustice. That's part of the why the character started. But you do it through through your stories. Like good Star Trek does the same thing, where you get those meanings through storytelling, but it's not banging you over the head with the politics. But there is a political message or undercurrent there, but you can take it different ways or interpret it however you want. Unlike that TNG episode that you just reviewed with Raquel, where it was bashing the Irish and talking about that directly. It's like, come on, guys, don't
Well,
don't call it out like that.
well, I talked to again. I did talk about that at the beginning of the show, where that was just an example of um the one week the one no the one episode right before that. It was so great. The Hunted, and the next one is such a preachy bunch of
Yeah.
preachy crap. But that's 1989, 90.
Yeah,
That's going on. So I say this all the time. Look, the woke crap, everyone, I hate it. I hate it. But a lot of people sometimes seem to approach this as that this crap only started in 2016. Now, it's only dominated over the past couple of years, but Hollywood has been putting this agenda crap in there, and not just Hollywood and all other forms of entertainment have been doing this crap for 50, 60 years. It's just that there was a long time when art would kind of take precedence. In other words, they had a lot of creative people who were more interested in telling their stories and creating things and entertaining people than they were about if they could put their agenda in there, great.
yeah,
But it didn't overpower everything. But wrote the woke crap, sort of that kind of stuff, or the agenda stuff, if you will. It's been in there for a very long time. It's just since about 2016, when a lot of these people just went insane. All of the whatever was restricting them, whatever they were kind of was holding them back a little bit, it disappeared, or the change came off around then, and they decided now we don't even have to try anymore.
yeah. Well, like I'm thinking like Peter David's run on Hulk, and they had that really touching issue where one of the characters passed due to AIDS, but it was integral to the story. It didn't feel out of place or tacked on. It was someone who had been a character, and it was a character in the story for a while, and it was it was controversial at the time, but looking back, it's obviously I don't think it is now, but at the time, I remember some people making a deal over it, but it wasn't like it was thrown in out of the blue. It fit in with the character and what Peter David had been writing, and I thought it was really touching and well done, and maybe it was a little preachy, but that's okay sometimes in terms of the nuance of the story, I guess. That's one of the issues I remember. I think it was a few-issue arc, and Peter David's a really talented writer, and God, if you haven't read his Star Trek comics or novels or
He's
Hulk,
written a
his
lot of
Hulk
good
run
Star
is
Trek.
legendary. Yeah. So
Well, this used to be. This is when we talk about like quote unquote woke crap or agenda, far left agenda stuff. It's been like I said, it's been happening for a long time. But when it did, I can name you a lot of things that I still like. It was a series, like a TV series I loved, a comic book I love, or a movie I love, or whatever. That sometimes some of that stuff would find its way in there, and I was able to compartmentalize a little bit, going, "Oh yeah, I really love this." They did say this kind of stupid crap. This dumbass shit was in here. This dumb stuff was there. And I still like whether it's an episode, I still like this movie, even though some of it's there. I still like this comic, even though they've got a bunch of stupid hippie preaching in there. Whatever it is, I'm usually, unless it's completely overpowering the well, whatever the entertainment happens to be at the time, whether it's a comic, a book, or novel, or whatever it happens to be, I can usually go. I still like that. Yes, it had this pinko crap in it, but I still like that. We're not there anymore, really, as much. Maybe still a little bit, but for the most part, it's just way off the top. So like I said, they've taken the chains off, and they don't even pretend anymore, and they're far less subtle than they used to be.
Well, yeah, because I'm still buying new comics, so it's and some of them when I read, it's just so over the top. And on the other hand, I'm like, am I being too sensitive now? Is that just me? And I'm a pretty forgiving person, you guys know from my reviews and things. I kind of let some things go or try not to let things bother me. But it does, but certain things do though. I mean, when it really gets me. And it's some of these titles you read them and they're like, I gotta drop this. It's like Captain America, when you got someone writing Captain America who is not a fan of America, quote unquote. He would say he is, I'm sure, but not from some of the things he's written and said. So it's it's really tough to swallow as a long time comics fan. It's one thing to disagree on, like the quality, like in the old days you say, oh, I thought that issue of FF was good, or I love Byrne, or you don't like Byrne, or those are fun kind of arguments to have and talk about, or why did Mr. Fantastic do that, or do XYZ, nerd geek arguments, those are fun, where you pick out inconsistencies in a book or things like that. But now you've got storytelling where they're basically putting in current events and preaching to you those current events, and it's not even thinly veiled, or good allegory there, where it's like it's just basic, like they'll always have something with refugees. Look what they did with the Skrulls. They had refugees, and of course people want people to come to this country, and no one wants anyone to suffer, but it's almost like, well, look how horrible you are, look how bad, latest some of the later issues of FF that I've just been reading. Of course, they're taking all these creatures from another dimension in, and they've got to let them in. That it's a swipe at current day politics. So it's that's what really gets me when you look at these new comics and how they're telling their stories. They don't even try to thinly veil them like they did years ago, or you'd see a movie and they'd throw in a couple of throwaway lines. You could kind of see the the writer's point of view, but it wasn't totally overt. So that's it's just like what was the latest when they had Batgirl? The panels they were we're talking about protesting and not supporting America. So it's like, what why go there in a comic? It's like, why not celebrate what's good, and then maybe have Batgirl. Well, I don't want to see my heroes protesting with signs. It's like, maybe fight injustice, or right some wrongs, or if there's politicians that you go after political corruption in the books, or there's certain ways you can do it, but I want Batgirl holding a sign denouncing America. Not really. So
no, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's absolutely disgusting, and it's boring. It's not just annoying. It's not just a lot of things, but it's also boring when you get overly done with the agenda stuff. I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, since I'm not on that other side of it, I 99% of the time never agree with the crap they're pushing anyway. But I would like to think that if I agreed with everything they were pushing, I would still find it boring, because it's not what I'm reading comics for, or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, Stuart Mitchell is like that. It is like that.
Well, I think a good example would be the unmentionable STD. Everyone says it's whether or not I'm not going to get into a debate. Real Trek, not Trek. Even if you get past that, the stories suck. I mean, the stories are horrible, and I put myself through watching every minute of it. I don't know why, but I guess plus when I talk about something, I like to review it. But it's just that third season was an abomination about how bad the story was, whether or not you you like the portrayals of the characters, or it was just horrible storytelling. It's so poorly done. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I think some of the actors actually kind of talented, but they don't get a chance to to shine. And some of them aren't good, obviously, too. I don't think they're that good, but just the story was just so ridiculous. Where a creature that's stuck in this interstellar rift basically can destroy all the dilithium across the universe, but then they forget in an early episode that they had met a character who created technology that can reform dilithium crystals, and they forgot that not all starships use dilithium to achieve warp drive. I mean, it's just, that's the geek / nerd stuff. But if you're a writer in the writer's room, hey, if we're going to come up with a big bad or something that we're going to deal with this season, maybe oh, there we go. That's classic. Yep.
Yeah. Kalel sent this to me.
That's nice.
But no, you're right. I just thought I meant to pop that up. After you said that, I don't know why it popped up that quick, but
yeah.
I thought I would show that as show that before we got out of here. But yeah, I don't know, man.
No, but the stories are horrible. It's like
the stories are crap.
The New Who, it's like whether or not you wanted to accept the 13th Doctor. I was although I think the Doctor should be a man, I'm willing to accept it and give me some good stories. But the stories, I was like, what am I watching? And then I said, this is so horrible. Then I got it, then I was reading reviews and I was seeing the same. I'm like, is it just me? Am I nuts? Am I being too harsh? But I mean, they were embarrassingly bad, the episodes. I mean, forget all the part of it was because it was so overtly political, but they were just horribly done stories.
They do walk hand in hand. In other words, when you like that episode, The High Ground, that horrible thing, or the horrible Jodie Whittaker episodes of Doctor Who, which I was stupid enough to sit through, like Rosa and all those other horrible ones, or STD. It's not a coinky dink that something that is ultra 100% agenda driven is going to be bad. Now, again, if it's something that has a story and they put some, like, again, as I said earlier, I've read things or I've seen things or watched things that did have, admittedly, some agenda stuff in it that I didn't agree with that were still good. That means it wasn't 100% agenda. It was like 70, 80% they were trying to tell a good story and they stuck a few things in there. And I'd always be able to compartmentalize and go, yeah, I didn't like this kind of silly shit they were saying, but still, this was a pretty good movie, or this, Well, we're not there anymore with modern Doctor Who, with STD, with that episode of The High Ground on TNG that we talked about.
Horrible, yeah.
Those are 100% done for no reason other than agenda.
Yeah,
and they put agenda first. They're not even like trying to make an entertaining show. And yes, they will put some of their own, little moralizing in there. That's not even happening anymore. Now it's strict. It's pure. It is 100% agenda. And everything else is in the back seat. Yeah, they still want you to watch it, but if you don't, screw you. You're a bad person. They want to tell you. One thing they don't understand is they used to be able to, when you could not make it 100%, when you could put some entertainment value as well, then they would get to shove a few little things in there telling you you're a bad person, but you're watching because you like watching the show. Now they want to be able to tell you are a bad person, but you still have to watch it. And they want to do it with a club. They're not doing it with a paper cut. They're doing it with a sword. You're slashing it upside the head with it. And they don't understand.
Set to disintegrate. Yeah.
Right. They don't understand that that doesn't last for very long. And now apparently they're not learning it. I don't know. I mean,
like old TV would have. You remember when they had now a very special episode of Family Ties or something. Like Alex P. Keaton would be on taking drugs or something, or they'd have an episode back in the 70s. Or it was always a very special episode where the character would face something, and usually it was a sitcom and they'd make it serious, but it was where they showing I don't say much of a. Would say as much of an agenda as just illuminating a problem the character had, and maybe people out there were having that same problem. Usually it was in the 80s it was always the Just Say No, the drug addiction. So I guess you could say that maybe some of that stuff was agenda driven, but you kind of knew it going into whenever you heard that tagline. And now a very special episode. I'm trying to relate to, things in the past that would kind of be equivalent, but it just, to me, it just seems like I'm agreeing with you. I think it's, over the top now, how they they preach to you in the shows today.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely, friends.
Yeah, if the show of comic is canceled because they told you it wasn't made for you, you didn't support it. You're a human monster.
You're a human monster. Stuart mentioned the thing about. Look, I want everyone to be happy, and if it makes you happy, to have a little hope about the Russell T Davies things. I hate to be the guy to piss in anybody's cornflakes on this, but I got to tell you, I'm a Doctor Who fanatic from almost 40 years now. And I even like a lot of what Davies did. I had a lot of things I didn't like as well. He did a lot of things, but I just have zero faith that he will not toe the same line that Shibby did. Now, he still, as a Doctor Who fan, I'm pretty sure he did not like what Shibby did in terms of the timeless children and all that kind of bullshit. The thing is, he's still, Davies has been political before in a heavy-handed way sometimes as well. Never forget, and people, this is one of the reasons I don't have any faith, just because it's 221, Miss 2021 right now, and it's still the BBC. It's still what's his face up, Piers Wenger, and will it be as unbelievably bad as the Whittaker era? I don't know, but you got to expect it to still be. Yes, he does say some bonker stuff. Remember, this is the guy who produced the episode The End of Time. That's David Tennant's last one. How anybody likes that episode is beyond me. Because remember, this is the episode that at the beginning of it, all these and it's taking place in Great Britain. Donna and her family, everyone was going, "Oh, this President Obama's announcement about this is financial cure. He's going to be announcing it. He's going to basically, this episode, Obama was going to come on." Not getting too political here, but I'm just saying this is a Doctor Who episode. And then the previous president on earlier episodes was not even George Bush. It was just some other guy that looked like him, and the master killed him. But because Obama won, Obama was going to fix. He was going to fix the economy of the entire world, according to this episode. And then the master.
He won the Nobel Prize, didn't he?
But no, this is after that, though.
I'm joking. Yeah. I know
all these British people were, in the beginning of this episode, were excited that he was going to produce his quote-unquote his financial solution. And I'm watching that, seeing the level of unbelievable moronic ignorance was so embarrassing by Russell T Davies in that episode. It was the most cringy episode I've ever seen of that point of Doctor Who. First of all, Russell, your economy in that sense has nothing to do with ours. I know, there's connections, but our president doesn't make your own stupid economy, and he can't solve he can't even solve ours. He ain't going to solve yours. Sorry. So putting that in an episode of Doctor Who, that's the writing of a 5-year-old. Because Russell T Davies has the political understanding of a 5-year-old, and he put that in an episode. And then, of course, his excuse was, "Well, this is going to be really funny. The master is going to delete it." And then he's going to turn everybody on the earth to look just like the master. He turned the whole planet into the master race just so he can make a joke called the master race. This episode is one of the most moronic things I've ever seen in Doctor Who, and people love it. And first of all, they turned, they turned Rassilon evil. They had Timothy Dalton playing Rassilon. They wasted by turning him evil. Right? Yeah. And that episode freaking sucks. John Sim is a joke as the master. He's like just trying to be Heath Ledger Joker as the master. And yet people who love Doctor Who, and by the way, I still like a lot of the Davies era. That was really stupid. That was one of the dumbest things. That was as dumb as anything Jimmy did. But because he had a better era and brought the show back, people will give Davies a pass. All I'm telling you is remember shit like that when you see Davies come back.
Okay? Yeah, in an environment not as good. Yeah,
in an environment now. Yeah, but in an environment that will allow him to be even more idiotic.
Yeah. I'm always, an optimist. So I'm holding out hope that we get
It was a global
get
reception
something
at
good.
an
But how
episode.
how do you?
You see what Matthew wrote?
Yeah, there
There
was.
was a
Yeah,
global.
yeah, right. Yeah, Obama didn't know anything about the
Oh,
economy, right? And of course,
but it was
not to
just so
get too political,
stupid.
but then then the Republican running all said he stopped his campaign and said, but I don't know anything about the economy either. So vote for the other guy.
But don't put it on Doctor Who.
Yeah, oh,
Don't
I
put.
know.
Don't,
Don't put it.
remember,
Yeah,
they didn't have a. They only put him on there because they worshipped that president. Before that, they had some dopey guy that was like some silly. Remember, the Master killed him. The Master killed the American president,
yeah,
president in a previous episode for guffaws,
yeah.
for
Well,
funny.
that one of
Right.
played so well with depending who was president now, right? Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
just
they would have
saying.
never done that to if Obama was president. They would have never done that to him. Yeah.
We have a tendency, fans, if somebody does something, a lot of really unbelievably horrible, atrocious things like Chibi, even Moffat, in my opinion, like Chibi or like Alex Klutzman or Jar Jar Abrams, then sometimes if somebody has done a few things that are pretty bad like them, but has also done a lot of good things, they're going to give the guy that did a lot of good things a pass for the really unbelievably stupid things. And that's human nature. But that does not change the fact that Russell T Davies did a lot of stupid shit, and so did Stephen Moffat. Is it as bad as Chibi? Of course not.
No,
Nothing's as bad as Chibi.
Well, I mean, you always
And I'll
have some
take the
bad
occasional-
episodes too,
Right,
yeah.
bad episodes, but I'm talking about some really,
Yeah, but I mean, you look at,
stinkers.
look at the TNG episodes have been, just fresh in
Exactly.
my mind. So you do get some stinkers once in a while that are in there, but overall,
Right.
it was a great, probably one of the best. I don't know if you'd call it a revival or continuation, but I've been out of, what was it, 15 years
Right.
since it was,
Yeah.
so one of the best revivals ever.
16
I would
years,
have to
yeah.
say. So
Well, that's why all I'm saying is if he would do that in 2000, whatever it was, 9 or 10 when that episode came out, and he said
Yep.
a lot of dumb stuff after that, I'm just saying don't put a lot of stock and hope in him in 2023. If it's good, fine. I'm just trying to
temper
just trying to set people up. Yeah.
expectations. Yeah.
Don't get Davies is let's see. Oliver says Superman for the Quest for Peace in 1987 dealt with Superman on ridding of nuclear weapons while he fought Luthor's creations. Yeah, see, and that was terrible politics as well. That was a horrible idea.
Exactly. Great example.
There was a guy that actually accused Christopher Reeve of stealing that idea. So, and it might be true, but I'm like, man, I wouldn't steal that idea. I'd give it back.
Yeah.
Because it was a dumb. In that movie, you had Superman basically becoming a dictator who goes to the UN and says, you know what, guys, I'm going to get rid of all your nukes so you can't do anything about it.
Yep.
That was pretty stupid. That was a bad. At least Superman 3 you can laugh at for being really moronic and stupid.
But
4 is a different kind of bad.
And because of the reasons we've been talking about, yeah. Now I'm looking at Doctor Who series 1, 2005, written, and Davies has written most of the episodes. Rose I thought was brilliant. End of the World.
Yeah,
Just,
I love it. I love a lot of what Davies
Boomtown,
did.
Bad Wolf. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's got some great, great episodes. Yeah, Christmas Invasion, just to ring everyone's bell again. Yeah, Love and Monsters. He didn't write as much the second season, so he's only got like 4 or 5 episodes that second season. And then series 3, let's see, The Runaway Bride. I love that episode, The Runaway Bride.
I love a lot of what Davies did. I'm just pointing out that I don't think he's gonna. He was not immune to it back then, and now in 2023, I have zero hope. If it's proven wrong, I'll be saying it. But the fact is, he's gonna cast. His casting won't even be any good. Probably, it'll probably be a woman again. Maybe not.
We'll see,
and then it's still gonna be preachy. And if he does, by the way, here's another thing. I don't care how good some people say it is. If he doesn't completely ignore, retcon, whatever you want to call it, excise, delete the Timeless Children bullshit, and if William Hartnell is not the first Doctor when he gets a hold of it, then I'm out anyway. Screw that.
Well, that's what the real travesty has been. I mean, it's one thing to excuse bad episodes, but then to rewrite the whole history of the character, be like, saying that the Fantastic Four were just mutations or something in a lab, but fundamentally altering the character too. I mean, that would actually be not as bad, but it's just they just to say that the Doctor's no longer a Time Lord and it's a girl from another universe that they killed over and over to steal the powers of regeneration. I mean, it's just, and there's been thousands and thousands of quote unquote doctors throughout history. It just, you totally retcon your whole 50 plus year series, history of the show. And for what reason? Just to have it as a shock, so you could say, oh, it was actually the Doctor was a woman at first. I mean, it's just a virtue signal, and it's a bad virtue signal too, because then they're torturing that kid. I mean, it's horrible what they're doing.
Yep.
When you watch that episode,
it's absolutely one of the worst pieces of shit ever done on television. It's a joke. It's an abomination. All right, Narat, I got your point. I mean, but I'll put that up there. Thank you. Watch the first season of One Punch Man, subtitled, and tell us how it isn't your thing. Well, if that's a challenge, okay. If I could get my hands on Dad Man Walking.
Hey, Dad Man.
What's up, buddy?
Hope you want to take a ride tonight.
Expectations. Well, everyone, I tell you what. Yeah, Stuart, that's absolutely right. Timeless Children is a filthy abomination. But this was from Kal-El.
Yeah.
Kal-El, yeah, this is great, dude. I love it. Thanks for sending that picture. I love good vibes to you, Nirat. Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate you. This is fantastic, by the way, Kal-El. I love Christopher Reeve, and I'd have been all for that right there if he'd won that one. At least he should have wore it in the first scene of that movie. If you maybe can put it on there.
Well, they could do it CGI now, right?
Yeah, CGI that on is just the first part of the movie. Then we could change it later. But yeah, so and of course, again, this makes a fine tribute. That's a good seg there, actually. Fine tribute yesterday, of course, the birthday of the great Jerry Siegel, the co-creator and the writer, of course, co-creator of Superman, and we love him. And I thank you all so much for hanging out. We're here tonight on just a kind of an open stream, and I want to thank, of course, the great Mark D with a C for coming and hanging on with me a little bit, talking a little comics and related matters. Yeah, appreciate you coming on there, dude.
Glad to be here.
And let's see here. Wednesday night, more of the same. It'll probably be an open talk. Who knows? Maybe I'll make up a topic by then. But until then, let's see here. Punk Waddle, thank you for being here. Narat, Max, Amanda Bear, thank you. And thank you for the recommendations. I appreciate you. The great Phantom Outsider. The great Eric K, buddy. Chris Persian was here. Good to see you, man. Matthew Pounder, thank you so much for being here. Steve Mitchum was here. Good. He had to run, though. Good to see you, bro. Thank you so much. Hungry Boy, buddy. Always good to see you. By the way, Wednesday, a new Spinnerack Time Machine video will be out. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see who else we got. J-Man was here earlier. J-Man.
Yep.
Appreciate you, buddy. Sherry, I think, had to leave, but Sherry, lovely to see you. Thank you so much. It's Courtney popped in earlier. Love you, Courtney. Thank you so much. Did I already say Eric K? I'll say it again. The great Eric K. Say it again. Your Muslim uncle, thank you so much for being here, buddy, and I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. You were too kind, my friend. Phantom Outsider. I probably already said you, but I'll say you again anyway, because you know my short attention span memory. Kal-El, buddy, thank you, and thank you for the picture. Matthew Pounder, thank you. D-Bud, Martin, buddy, the man of iron. Appreciate it, bro. Whoops. I did something wrong. I hit a button wrong there.
They can't make a mistake.
Stuart Mitchell. Good to see you, Stuart Mitchell. And again, Dolly had braces. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit more Wednesday night. Glinzer, thank you for being here. Oliver Belmonte, thank you for popping in. Great to see you. Punk Waddle, I think I mentioned that already, but I forget some of the ones I say. So, bop. We'll make sure we get them all here real quick. I think I got everybody. Pop Culture Republic, thank you so much for being here with me. Appreciate you. Dad Man Walking, it is always great to see you, my friend. I think, did I get another one? Did I pass
Let's
up
see.
another?
You're doing a pretty good job because my memory is nowhere near as good. Yep.
No, I thought I saw.
Here we got a super chat if you want to read that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying. I must not have got to it yet.
Yeah, that's probably
Well,
why. Yep.
Thank you to the great Eric K for this other super chat, $4.99. Thank you so much, buddy. Mark D with a C offered Clobby 2 times the price to have his life-size Wesley, but Clobby turned him down. Yes. So
now I'm stuck with the Wesley.
Now we're both Wesley admirers. You'll all follow suit and you'll all start loving Wesley just as much as we do. Someday you will. Dolly, there you go, Stuart. Dolly had braces. Preach it, brother. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. I just really appreciate you guys. You're all fantastic. And of course, as always, big shout out to the great Mark C. Mark C. Comics Talk, our buddy. We miss him, and he, somewhere up there, he's looking down and going, "You guys can do better than that." I hope he is, because that would be the Mark C. I know love. So,
yep.
Thank you all.
Just think of him and remember. Yeah, everyone put M in the chat now to honor him. And I think was Jack here earlier?
Jack was here earlier, and Jack's mama. Shout out to Jack. That's right, Jack, and thank you.
Yep,
appreciate that. So, and thanks again to the great Mark D with a C, everyone, and please go to his channel.
Yep. Oh, I got a new video out tonight.
You do?
Enabling Luke Skywalker, just a 5-minute one, so just a Hot Wheels. So if you want to check it out, only take 5 minutes. Appreciate the view and the like.
All right.
I'll put it in the chat. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, everyone. We'll have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And as always, a big shout out to the great Stone Loki for this fine Monday night intro, outro. And a big shout out to the wonderful Raquel Briggs, just because we love her. We love you, Raquel.
Yeah.
And Wednesday night, everyone. Then, of course, Thursday. Then, of course, Saturday. Have a great one.